apparently some of their livestock had been going missing. Not sure what was happening, if it was someone stealing it or animals killing them or whatnot. Uh, you guys did some searching around, went down a very, very deep hole that actually led to a even deeper hole that you guys noped out of, went back up, and started looking around again until you found a section that had a lot more holes, but also one very, very large hole. After throw, I'm pretty sure you guys threw down a nicely lit coin that startled whatever it was that was down there, and a few of them came burrowing up, bursting out of from underground, and you began fighting a group of onkegs. And after a little while, one that you guys had never heard of being so big came out, and you all. Some people got a little bit low, but you guys ended up taking it out. I believe Geckel took its head off and was able to carry it back to the city for proof. Uh, you guys were paid. You were offered free room and board for however long you needed at the tavern by Allison. And she told you that she had suggested your name after such a good job to a I would say a regular customer of hers whose sister seems to have be having a bit of trouble with her husband who has gone missing. Uh, to end off, you guys had a great night of drinking far too much, especially one very common reserved bard, and who agreed to, well, not agreed to, but was told he would be making up the group name for everyone. So, uh, everyone had gone to bed, um, and you all eventually wake up groggy. Some of you not feeling too great. Make your way downstairs to the smell of fresh tea and meats cooking on the stove. Allison's husband, who I didn't give you a name for last week, but his name is Harold, is cleaning the bar and making pretty much preparations for the day, making sure that they have enough kegs upstairs, that their bottles are full, and all that kind of stuff. Um, Allison herself makes her way over to the table to remind you that she gave your names to the woman, and she pretty much looks at you all and says, remember I told you I gave your name to Eliana? Uh, she's a regular here, half-elven woman with light blonde hair and very long. Um, I told her that you all would be staying here, and she said that instead of sending you to her house, it, they would come in here today for lunch if you guys don't mind waiting around for a little while.
Oh, yes, I don't mind.
That shouldn't be a problem.
She kind of looks at you and nods, and she goes, well, here is she starts pouring the tea for everyone. Um, she says, the food will be out shortly. Thank you again for what you did, and well, if you need anything, just shout us out. We'll be over there just cleaning up. And she turns around and heads back to where her husband is, and she starts helping him with, like, cleaning of the mugs and stuff like that, and just pretty much getting everything ready for the day.
Well, how does the mighty conqueror feel after his drink last night?
Passable. Ish.
You did think of a name, did you?
Yeah. I gave it at least a little thought this morning. Had a couple ideas. The one that I think I settled on, if you're gonna really make me stick with this, and he just looks around at the table looking for an out. Anyone.
Nope.
Alba's just smiling.
The best one I came up with, I think, is the Gilded Blade.
Oh, very fancy.
It'll do, yes.
I mean, you guys can always fix something else, but I don't know. It was it was the best I could come up with. So sorry.
No, it's excellent.
Could be worse.
Could be a lot worse. Well, we should drink, eat up, and be ready for Eliana to arrive later on. Try to regain some of your strength after last night's drinking.
Agreed.
Well, in the meantime, is there anything that anyone wanted to do? I mean, you did get a little bit of gold each. So is there anything anyone wants to do? Because at this point, it's probably like close to 8 to 9 in the morning. And I'll say closer to 9 since some of you probably slept in a little bit. And you have, I mean, lunch usually you would assume between noon to 1 o'clock, like a little bit after noon. So does anyone have anything they want to do in the meantime?
Already spent my money
Yes, you did.
on a shitty
As-
spell.
As most wizards do.
The inn tavern that we're staying in is not actually open yet, is it?
It, you guys woke up here yesterday too, and you kind of get the sense that they usually probably open a little bit before noon, so they do like a late breakfast. So it would probably be a couple of hours until they opened up, but they do open, just not just yet.
All right.
Well, I have a few things I might need to do in town here. Some shopping and some bartering.
Well, I would be up for walking around, trying to learn a bit more current accommodations here.
Very well. Very well, very well, yes.
I'm fine staying here. Rather keep my money to buy something fun.
But of course,
If someone invites him along, Oliver will go, but otherwise he's also content to lay low at this point and just try to wait out the hangover.
Would either of the two of you like to come along? Barnabas? Oliver?
I'm fine.
I mean, if you want me to come, I can, but I'm all right too.
No one is forcing you. If you wish to stay, you can.
No, I'll come along. Give me just a minute and head upstairs, get the stuff together, come back down.
All right. Well, then it seems like 3 of you are going to go. 2 are you going to just relax? Who is going where?
well, I need to see about some magic wares as well, particularly focus. And then also need to see about selling this crossbow that I came across.
Okay. Um, Plenty of options in a city the size of Western for that. Uh, what do you want to handle first? You want to go try to sell what you want to sell first?
Oh, sure, why not?
Okay. Well, you are more than welcome to take half price of whatever it is, unless you want to try to bargain your way to a better deal. Then go for it.
Oh, bargain.
All right. So, we'll say you go to a local bowyer, and they offer you, what is is it a regular crossbow or is it a heavy crossbow?
The light crossbow, yeah.
Light
So-
crossbow.
That's 25 gold, if I remember correctly.
That it is, yeah.
Okay. So yes, they will offer you 13 gold for it. And it is a rather old and grumpy looking dwarf who is pretty much running the shop right now.
Okay, quick question. How used is this crossbow? I actually don't know.
Effectively brand new. Oliver
That's
would
what
have never used it.
I thought so. Okay. Ah, excuse me, good man. 13 is just. This is not even used. Like almost brand new. This 13 gold's just too low for this. How about 20?
He kind of looks at you. He just like slaps the table in front of him for you to put it down real quick.
I do so.
He picks it up, starts like weighing it in his hands, measuring the balance. He takes the bolt, or no, you probably wouldn't have had a bolt in it, so he doesn't take it out, but he just looks at it like aiming down it, and he goes, "Not been used.
Not been used.
Don't know if it works then. How about the
Oh,
deal?"
it's easy enough to find out, good sir. And I take out one of the bolts and just load it up. Just basically do a easy enough shot, just like almost into the floor. Just. Oh,
After you do that, he goes, "Oh, you prove that it shoots, not that it shoots straight." He kind of looks around and he points to the back of the wall that's about like 20 feet away, so it's not extremely far. To like it's probably the size of a barrel lid. It's just a metal shield, and he goes, "Oh, you able to stand over at the entrance and hit that? 20 it is."
very well. We'll see what we can do.
Mm. And he like he again he looks extremely not like tired but bored and grumpy, and this kind of like boosts his spirits up a little bit. He kind of sits up and like is ready for something to actually be happening. uh and he just sit there, crosses his arms, and he's looking at you.
Very well. Let's see.
All right, just do a, I mean, I'm assuming you're proficient with crossbows.
On
I
the
don't
light
know.
crossbow, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll an attack with whatever, I think it's your dex, and beat a, since you're trying to hit just the shield, beat a 14.
No.
You shoot again, and it just veers off completely to the right. It like it goes, and it like actually puts a little crack into one of the windows out of the shop, and he kind of just looks back at you with a huge grin on his face. He goes, uh, "With the crack now, we'll go down to 12."
Oh, the cracks are no problem whatsoever. No. I'll fix those up as well as the floor. Obviously, it needs some attunement, so obviously not 20. 17.
You got him a bit cheered up, so go ahead and roll persuasion.
Why is it not rolling here?
It roll 20's been acting up all night, is like, especially when I was trying to do the tokens and stuff like that earlier.
It just tells me rolling done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, you're about to get a bunch of dice coming through then, just to let you know.
I mean, it happens, man. It definitely happens. But the first one I got was a 9, and he kind of just looks at you, shakes his head. He goes, "If you're able to fix the window and the floor, we'll stick at 13."
How about this then? I'll throw in all the bolts as well, 20 of them. 17.
He kind of looks. He goes, "I don't do much with ammo here."
Yeah. Very well. 13 minutes.
He grabs a little pouch, pulls out a chest from underneath, counts 13 gold coins into it, puts the bag on the table, and he goes, uh, "Hopefully it was just your aim and not the crossbow that was that bad, because if it is, I probably just have to toss it."
Well, let me one sec here. I'll just do mending on the floor there, and then work my way over to the window. There we are. No harm done there.
He nods.
Pleasure doing business.
Yeah, you too. And you can see him, like, he has a bit of a crooked smile on his face and chuckles a bit as you walk out. And as for the other shopping, what were you looking for?
A wand.
A wand. All right. I mean, you can find those in magic shops. You could probably find them. That's probably the only place for it.
Oh yeah.
So let me see. In Western, there must be a name here. Um, all right. I do not have a name for a magic shop right now, but I will come up with one eventually. So yeah, you are able to like seek out this one. I'll say there are two. This one is the smaller of the two magic
Gotcha.
shops. I don't even know if your character, since he hasn't been here that long, would know there's more than one. This is probably just the first one you ran across.
Basically, yeah. I've not been here long enough to explore.
Yep. And the person running this one is a gnomish woman, probably not very like she doesn't look like a child, but she's definitely very young.
Oh, well, why hello there, young lass. Wondering if in this fine establishment you might have wands.
Yeah, well, of course we do. What kind are you looking for?
Oh, just the basic focus there. Need to do a few enchantments, you see.
She kind of nods and goes, "Oh, so no fire or anything like that."
Oh, no. Just the basic focuses there will do nicely.
She kind of nods. She goes, yeah, give me 1 second. I'll grab a couple that you could look at." And she gets down. You see her going to like a few different sections of the room and pulling down one here and there, and she lays them out in front of you. She lays out four in front of you. One is very very plain looking. You would assume something made out of pine that just it literally looks just like the stereotypical wand. Another one has a bit of engravings on it that are in draconic. Another one is just it's kind of the same as the first one, just a darker wood. And then there is one that is very very nicely made, sort of a reddish wood, and it is very well designed, and it looks very nice. It has like char marks for designs and stuff on it.
All right. First, can I take a look at the one with draconic markings on it and see what it says?
Yeah. Do you read draconic, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't really say much. It's just like kind of arcane words. It's like words that would be used in spell casting and stuff like that. Um just like the typical arcane words, not really like any sentences or anything.
Okay, gotcha. Then, if it's not anything spectacular, I'm obviously going to go for the best with the nice fine made one.
Okay. The fine made one is 4 gold.
Ah, for such fine quality, yes, 4 gold it is. Just hand it over there.
Okay. All right. She grabs it. Oh well, thank you very much. And just so you know, anytime you need something like this, you could come here. We have many other wands too.
But of course, I'll perhaps stop in after my next adventure.
She kind of like her eyes go a little bit wide. She goes, "You're an adventurer?"
Well, of course. I happen to be Hrothgar, the Iron Dragon.
She kind of looks up at the sky for a bit and starts thinking. She goes, am I supposed to know that name?"
Oh, wonderful pirate of all the oceans and seas. Been for the past 40 decades, giving many a navy, four decades, giving many a navy trouble.
She kind of, I don't hear much about pirates. Not many oceans around here.
Yes, I
I'll be
understand that.
I'll be sure to listen for your name.
Good on you, good on you. Yes, know that
Right.
Rothgar has graced your shop, and if anyone brings it up, you can perhaps even get some good traffic in because of it.
Sounds like a very good idea to me. I've never had anyone famous shop here.
Ha, there you are. You have now.
And she looked ecstatic.
Well then, I'll have to leave you for now, lass. Currently need to head back and prepare for my next adventure.
She kind of just nods and goes, "Oh, be safe. Please, come back. Come visit again."
But of course. And I'll head back and I'll give just a nice little wave on the way out and head back to wait for our nice job.
The other guys that were with him, anything going on?
Well, for Gekkel in particular, he's more interested in one, finding a bank slash mint to change his coins, and two, he just wants to go around the city so he gets a decent read of, well, this is where this is where I need to go to do this specific thing. Just a read of the
Kind
city.
of like getting a lot of your bearings.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, just for fun, go ahead and roll. I'll say you could do a survival for the layout of this stuff, for your general how much you're able to glean from everything.
Before that happens, quick question.
Yep.
Oliver got a tour from Alba yesterday,
Mhm.
and Oliver is with Gekkel, so can
Yep.
I help with that?
You can have advantage on that then.
Huzzah! For a 15.
All right. I mean, obviously, you're not going to know everything. You have the layout, like okay, well, the shops are over here, the residences are over here, like government type stuff is over here, so that but you're not going to be exactly sure where specific places are. Like if you said, "Oh, I want to go to the whatever magic shop in this place," like you wouldn't know names and stuff, but you would know the areas to find stuff.
Yeah, well, that's more than enough. Like I say, would I be able to locate, like I said, like a bank or a mint to deal with coins?
Yeah, that would more than likely be in the Opal Ward, which is the most central ward of the city.
Then,
It's pretty much all government and stuff there. So that would they might have other little air quote banks, but they're not like official. It's kind of like where you just can trust if you trust the people to hold on to your stuff and stuff like that. But this is an actual bank of Western.
that's perfect. That's where I shall be heading.
Yeah, I mean, it like as you approach, it is a not extremely tall, maybe like 3 stories at most, but it is rather long. And you look up, and it's made out of white stone. Um, there are windows that have colored stained glass in it. It kind of looks like it could be a temple, but it's not like as grand. They didn't like it doesn't look like it was made to worship anything. It just looks like it was made very nicely. And looking around, a lot of the buildings in the Opal Ward are like that. They're all very, very well maintained and stuff. And as you approach the door, there are 2 guards standing outside the front of it. The doors are open. It's still summertime. It's getting towards the end, and it is kind of dreary out today, kind of cloudy and a little bit breezy. But it's still not cold enough to have doors closed, so the doors are just sitting there open.
I'll go to one of the guards outside. Excuse me. Do you know who I would have to talk to change my coin here?
He kind of looks. He pokes his head in. He goes, I believe down the end there, and he points into the right. And when I say the building is long, it's not long like you walk in and it's like a straight line. It's kind of like you walk in and you could go to either side. And he's pointing in what when you're walking in would be down to the right. And there, it seems like the central area is mostly just like for depositing and stuff like that. And the other side where he's pointing seems like it's more like administrative stuff. And there's like one table over there that he points out to that one for, and it, like you see a little thing that says exchange.
Thank you very much. I'll head over to the exchange.
Okay. You get there, and it's just a middle-aged woman, glasses, tight hair like in a tight bun, just looking down at her desk. As you're approaching, she kind of doesn't look up until you're right at the edge of the desk, and she looks up and goes, yes, how can I help you?
Yes, I was looking to decrease the amount of coins I'm carrying around. Would you be able to exchange gold for platinum pieces?
She nods. She goes, yes. There is going to be a charge with that. It's just 2 gold, and you could exchange up to 200 gold worth of platinum.
Ah, perfect. I would like to exchange 130 and into platinum. So I'll place down the 13 lots of 10 and the 2 separately for the charge.
Okay. She puts her hand on the 2 and just slides it off her desk, and you hear like a little clink clink, and it fell down into like what you were assuming is a chest on her side. And she just takes her time to count out each 10. Like she counts through each stack. She doesn't take any guessing.
Yeah,
And she goes,
professional.
well, yeah. I mean, she might have been fooled or something before, but she finishes counting, and then she grabs those and pushes them off to another side of her desk, and you again hear like a bunch of clanking, and she kind of looks up at you and she goes, all right, here, and she hands you a bit of paper, and it's pretty much just a voucher for the platinum pieces, and she just sends you over to another line because you know how it is at banks, you can't do everything in one spot. And yeah, so she sends you over to wait into another line that has about like 3 or 4 people in it. Eventually you get to the front, exchange it, they hand you the 13 platinum pieces, and the guy at the front just asks you if there's anything else you need.
Not for today, but I may need to do this process again another day. But thank you very much for your assistance.
He just nods next and calls the next person up.
That's it for me.
Okay.
Uh,
Oliver, anything?
just on the way back, probably ask Gecko. So, why did you want to get your money changed over anyway? I mean, doesn't the cost kind of make it not worth it?
True, but have you tried to walk around a town or long distances outside of a town with a heavy bag of coin?
I haven't.
It's not exactly the best idea.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
The less you carry around with you, the less people are going to notice, and the less of a burden it is to carry physically.
Yeah, I guess that's. I didn't think of. Yeah. All right.
It's
Thanks.
not for everyone, but it's a good idea to pick up on little things like that in case it suits what you need.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thanks.
Well, if you have any more questions about little things, don't hesitate to ask.
So, just to be sure, is that everything you guys had wanted to do outside?
I'm good.
Yes.
All right. Well, then, in that case, Barnabas and Alba, was there anything you in particular you guys would be doing or talking about at the tavern, or just kind of waiting for everyone to get back?
Not much. Alba would be feeding Corin a whole bunch of food.
Bartos would probably be just writing his journal, ignoring everybody.
Fair enough.
Not purposely, but it's just kind of what he does.
Right.
Yeah, probably at some point Alba would start chatting with him, and she'd just get mm-hms in response.
Sounds good. Well, over the time that your friends have left, and there have been a few other people that, like, I'll say maybe around like 10 a.m. they opened up for like the general public. For like beforehand, you're kind of assuming that it's just for people who are staying at the tavern, and then afterwards they open up for everyone else. And a few people have come and gone, getting small meals and drinks throughout the morning. Uh, every time the door opens and closes, as you look out, it seems to be actually getting a bit darker. You get like you're assuming that the clouds are starting to close in. It's a bit breezy, and again, it's getting towards the end of summer, so it's like a bit of a cool breeze. It's definitely not like the summer breeze that you're used to over the past few months. And it is actually the 27th day in the month of Sidon Star, which means there is pretty much 1 week left until harvest close, which is the start of fall. Uh, around, I'll say, like 20 to 25 minutes before noon, the other three of your friends walk back in, um, with whatever they had to accomplish while they were gone. Um, is there anything you guys want to do when you're all back together, or are you still just gonna be waiting?
Probably drink some more tea and have some bread. Apart from that, nothing in particular.
Well, folks, seeing as we are a nice new crew here, perhaps we could spread our stories, see what each of us truly brings to the table. Yes, yes, yeah. Oliver, was it,
Yeah.
tell me, my boy, since you did wonderful last night there, what's your story?
Oh, I mean, uh, this is kind of it. I I grew up not terribly, maybe a week's journey from here in oh crap, I gotta look up the name of the town I'm from now. Thanks a lot. It's one that's relatively close by.
Uh,
Gotta
Joran Village, Turst Fields.
No, it
Stillben?
is. I think it is Stillben.
Okay.
Maybe. Let me check. I've got it written here somewhere. Nope. Kaimel.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he is the kid from Nevada, pretty much.
Yep. I I grew up in an inn like this down there with just me and my mom. My father was an adventurer, and when I was old enough, I wanted to do it too. So this was kind of my first big chance, I guess. Uh, I know I'm not particularly seasoned or helpful, but I still want to give it a shot.
Well,
It's
you
about
did wonderful already. You're off to a grand start.
Yes, then you're adorable.
oh I thanks.
Turns slightly purple.
Mostly purple. Anyway, I was actually really curious about what you guys had all done. I know that Alba and Barnabas had already talked a little about them, and Rothgar you too. But Gecko, what about you?
Huh. Well, I'm not too fancy. I am from Wildmount. I travelled along the Menage coast, the Empire, the Dynasty, generally fighting tournaments, hunting, whatever got me by. So I'm generally just a hired axe.
And what brought you all the way over here?
Well, it was always the same competitions with the same people. It's nice to go to a different continent to face new challenges, to gain new experiences.
Yeah, seems like you were bored before, and now hopefully you'll get some fun.
Well, if yesterday was any inclination, it is highly possible.
And what about you, Rothgar? What made you stop the pirate life you're so willing to tell everybody about?
Well, it's freedom. Freedom on those seas there. You can go wherever you please. Have the adventures you need. I've helped many, but been devastation to many others. It's just a wonderful feeling.
That didn't actually answer my question. If you enjoyed it so much, why are you in a restaurant where there's no open body of water anywhere?
That is a bit of well,
Real
sour
quick,
note there.
Rothgar, I'm not going to have you roll either deception or persuasion to it. Just roll charisma to see how well his insight does against you, because I don't want him to know if you're lying or telling the truth. And you could tell me if whichever one you would be doing would have like would be extra. Would you have any proficiency in what you're trying to do?
Okay, so what were the two options there?
Whether it be deception, you trying to lie to him that everything is what you're saying is like or if it would be persuasion.
Oh, gotcha. In that case, oh, so far no. Just the roll I get there. Let's see.
So yeah, then Gecko, you know he's hiding something, but you're not exactly sure what.
Yeah, I can accept that.
So it's a touchy subject. Yeah. This thing that you don't wish to speak of?
Well, no, it's well, let's just say I owe a few people a few shots in the back. Perhaps a dip in the seas.
A betrayal story, then?
Something of the sort.
That's always fun.
And yourself?
There's nothing much special about me. I was in a fun group called the Commoners with Barnabas here. Group, are they still around, Barnabas?
He kind of looks up like he realized people were talking for the first time. He's like, what?
The Commoners, are they still around?
I don't think so.
It seems like the Commoners have disbanded at this point. It kind of makes sense. The members would have gotten pretty old at this point. Well, I guess that doesn't really matter for the gnome and such elves. Gnome and elves.
Well, the age is really just a number. You go out and you do what you need to do.
Do you have a specific goal in mind, or just for fun and adventure?
Oh, my goal is. Well, I'm searching for someone, but the issue is I don't know who they are, or where they are, or what they look like, or, well, I don't know much about them besides the fact that they might have a goat.
A goat.
Yes, which unfortunately doesn't narrow things down that much at all.
Well, that sounds like an interesting endeavor.
Hopefully I'll find answers. I mean, it might happen eventually. I'm not really rushing at this point.
It certainly sounds like quite a task.
Yeah, I figure go here, go there, and perhaps trouble will find me rather than I find it.
At this point, you guys hear once again the door open, but this time walking in is a woman who pretty much meets the description of what Allison gave you. You see her wearing a bluish dress. It's like kind of like a light kind of blue that looks like it could even be a white. And she walks in with another woman who looks very similar to her, but their hair is extremely different. This other elvish woman, or half elvish woman, I should say, has strawberry blonde hair that kind of curls up around her shoulders. They walk in, they take a bit of a look around, and they give a wave to Allison. She points you guys out to them, and they walk up. And the blonde-haired one speaks first, and she goes, "Hello, I believe Mrs. Carr." And she nods over towards Allison. Told you about me and my sister here. My name is Eliana Durothil. And this right here, and she puts her hand around the woman with red hair's shoulder. She goes, "This is my sister Amelia. Would this be a good time, or are you busy to discuss our situation?"
Oh no, please, have a seat.
It's a pleasure to meet you both.
She nods and has a bit of a smile on her face, and uh, Amelia kind of looks like she's been crying a lot, like she has deep bags under her eyes. It looks like she hasn't been sleeping great. She definitely looks like she is not in the best shape that she has been. So they sit down, and uh, Eliana orders a tea, but the sister Amelia orders a glass of wine. Um, she Eliana looks at you all and goes, "So, if you don't mind me asking, what do you know so far?"
Not
Not a lot, honestly. Uh, Allison told us just a little bit about there's someone missing for us to look for.
She nods, and the sister Amelia says, "My husband, Deldrick." Here, and you know what? I will just. And his last name is Cineron, which would be Amelia's last name as well. Um, she says he's been gone for 8 or 9 days at this point. I've lost count.
is this usual?
Um, no, he is a hunter. He mostly hunts in the Bramblewood. Uh, Usually gone for a day or two at most, but he always comes back. Uh, and something just was off this time. I don't know. And like she takes a big gulp of the wine and orders another one very quickly. Uh, you can tell she's very scatterbrained and distressed.
No, it's all right, dear. Take your time. I know that he found another woman or something.
she kind of looks at you. She's oh yes yes that's what I believe. And her sister Eliana immediately speaks up and well that's what you think. More than likely he's just somewhere out in the forest. He may have been hurt or something, but uh, you're just married. I'm sure he wouldn't have left you already. And like they get into a bit of a bickering contest before Amelia just okay. Whatever the case may be, he hasn't come back since the last time he went hunting.
Oh, yes. Well, we could pick up his trail, see if we can find him along his way. See if anyone else has heard anything.
And to that, Amelia says, "Well, I have spread the word with some of the other hunters who frequent the same area as him, and uh, in the past week, none of them have seen any signs of him. Um, uh, well, he usually goes, and she begins to explain. Uh, there is a actually, let me pull you here real quick. There, I'll shift ping everyone over to Western. There a bit of a road that heads up in the forest into the um it's a decent length road that eventually branches off into many smaller trails after about 5 hours. And she said that he usually goes up there and depending on what he sees like track wise he chooses a trail to follow. That's his usual routine for when he goes hunting.
Well, then, perhaps we shall need to follow his trail. What do you say?
Oh, yes, that makes sense. But we heard rumors as well that he was acting strange towards you. How may have he been acting?
When you say that, she takes another very large sip of wine and turns rather red. Roll persuasion. Okay. She kind of like looks around at everyone and like she can't really make eye contact with any of the guys at the table. So she leans over to you, Alba, and
Yeah.
she whispers. She goes, "A couple of nights before you left, I could swear I heard him saying another woman's name in his sleep. Uh, we're newlyweds, and he just seemed to lose interest in me one day, and he stopped coming home on time. He would be out at the taverns late. He must have met someone.
What name did he call you, may I ask?
It wasn't me. It was while he was sleeping.
Okay.
He said in Nemoria."
Well, it's possible it's not a natural woman. Perhaps he was put under a spell. I don't believe a newly wedded man would suddenly turn on you like that.
And she as you say that, she kind of like pulls her head away from yours as she was whispering to you, and you see like her mouth is smiling, but it doesn't like really reach her eyes. It's kind of like she's trying to seem like she might be like you can tell she appreciates it, but it's like hard for her to be happy. Um, Geckel. I would say. All right. Well, are you trying to think of if this name is a specific person or just like the origin of the name or what?
The origin of the name, or whether it's a name or a specific deity or spirit.
Then yeah, do religion. Religion will be good.
No.
You think you've heard of a town named Nemoria somewhere? You don't really remember where though.
It's worth a go.
Don't worry, dear, we'll get to the bottom of this. I'm sure that you will be quite happy to be returned.
Ma'am, since you've spoken with some of the other hunters, did any of them say anything about maybe unusual things out in the woods lately? Anything like that?
She just shakes her head, and again she's back to just sitting up normally, but she hasn't made eye contact with any of the guys here. She seems more embarrassed at talking about like her husband leaving her with other men. But the sister pipes up and she goes, "Oh no, there haven't been any sightings of anything strange lately or any rumors. You know, just the old stories of the Bramblewood, which have been around since before either of us were born."
Can I make some sort of check if I know what those stories would be?
Yeah, do a history check.
Let's see if I
And if
made
anyone else
this.
is anyone else from around West Barnabas, I mean, you actually would Barnabas even be paying attention?
He's kind of listening.
Okay, then if you want, you could help him. You could roll one more time with advantage if Barnabas is willing to kind of brainstorm with you.
Yeah, if you talk about something he finds interesting, he might pipe up. So yeah, stories and history and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
so roll history one more time. Okay, never mind.
Fat lot of help you were, Barnabas.
He really wasn't paying that much attention, apparently.
All right. I mean, there's like the local stories to like keep children from being bad and keep kids from going out into the forest. Like there's talk of like lycanthropes. There's talk of just like evil monsters coming up from the caves and stuff of the mountains and such like that. And there's other ones of it's pretty much the only stuff you could think of is like just like the standard stories that you tell the kids to keep them in line.
Quite
It's
literal bugbear tales. Gotcha.
yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like the story of Krampus for D&D. Like you be good or you're gonna get put in a sack and whipped. But nothing that you have ever actually put any real weight into. Like nothing that you would actually consider legitimate.
Okay.
So they kind of sit there, and as Amelia's kind of just sitting there drinking, the other sister goes, and we have a bit of money from our mother when she passed that we have saved aside. Um, if you could bring him back, we're willing to pay 400 gold. Uh, i- Whether that be that's if you bring him back alive. If he is already, and she kind of like just nods like kind of knowingly at you instead of saying the word. And you could just bring back proof of him. Uh, we'll be willing to pay 300.
We can worry about payment after the job. Would you be able to tell us where these hunters meet that he worked with?
The Amelia, the wife, goes. He hadn't worked with any of them. It's just that they would usually walk the path together to the end and take their own separate or their own separate trails to cover the most ground possible.
Well, it's possible they could tell us which track he would usually take.
She nods. She says, "Well, they usually met at sunup at the northern gate, so they're probably already gone for the day."
Well, we can try just going and tracking ourselves. Seems like we just have to follow the main path.
True, and if we cannot find anything, we can attempt to talk to these hunters.
Seems a perfect plan.
Makes sense to me.
They're kind of they look at you and nod. And you guys could hear it starting to rain actually too, and the wind is also picking up a little bit. And they kind of look out the window, and Eliana looks at her and says, "Well, we best get you home. Don't want to be walking if this weather gets much worse." And she looks at you all and she goes, "Thank you again. And we'll we'll be coming here for lunch for the next couple of days, so we'll be sure to run into you."
Of course, and we'll keep you updated on anything we find.
She nods and she goes, "Well, yes, be safe. Best of luck." And this Eliana gets up and kind of throws like like a cloak over herself and goes to grab one off another chair that they had placed down when they entered to throw over Amelia. And Amelia, before she does that, as she's like walking away to grab it, she grabs you by the wrist, Alba, and she goes, "I know she thinks I'm crazy, but it's another woman. I know it."
Don't worry, dear. I also think it's another woman, although not another human woman, as I said.
And she kind of nods, and her like she's not really like, she looks bugged out, like her eyes are wide open, she's looking at you like you could tell like she's starting to think she might be crazy, but she isn't quite there yet. And she just kind of grabs onto your wrist a little bit, shakes you, like nods like a thank you, and turns around and puts her cloak on and walks out the door.
Well, I'm ready to go.
And
Get my cloak on. I will not get rained on.
agreed, but we should note that if the wind is picking up with the rain, it will make tracking people a lot harder.
Of course, of course. Perhaps we must head out as quickly as possible, then try and beat as much of it as we can.
Agreed. Oliver, Barnabas, are you ready to set out?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Barnabas is smoking some nice smelling, but I guess we'll call it illicit weed out of his pipe right now. He just sort of looks up like, yes, let's go.
A bit of the long bottom leaf, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Helps his cataracts.
Yeah, it's definitely got a medical claim for it.
of course, of course.
And and he's so old that people aren't really gonna say,
Right.
"Stop,
What are you
can't
gonna
do that anyway."
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
yeah.
seriously, like you earned it, buddy. You know, just do enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to tell like the 80-year-old person. It's like, no, you shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. They're bad for you.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You gonna get up, get ready, and head on out?
I believe so, unless anyone has any more specific things they wish to do for the search.
Perhaps on the way out. How many of us have tents?
Not
Just-
me.
Sounds like zero.
I was going to say, perhaps if the weather's picking up, we should stop and get a few.
That sounds like a good idea. If we might be out there for a while.
Yes.
Easy enough.
I should be fine. I'm used to sleeping outside.
Of course. All right then. So you will not need one, but still, for the rest of us.
Well, we can grab 2 tents for 2, and that would be enough.
I'll make it 3. I have quite a few things. I kind of sprawl out, you see.
Well, a 2-person tent is 2 gold, but each of them will weigh 20 pounds. So, I mean, as long as you don't have one person carrying like 2 of them, you're fine.
Oh yeah.
I can't carry any of them.
I could
Like,
carry all of them.
Well, all right then. If that's the case, perhaps Gecko, you could carry all of us for it. I'll carry my own, of course, and
I can carry mine.
there we are. And Alba can carry theirs. Yes.
Yep. So anyone who wants one, just mark off 2 gold, and you have a 2-person tent.
Barney, you can sleep in mine as long as you don't snore.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Hey, he nods. Keeps smoking his pipe.
I will pay for a tent if Gekkel will carry it.
Yeah, I'm just adding the actual weight of a tent onto my sheet.
Yeah,
You don't got to worry about it. Like I'm not gonna stringently like care about that. It's just more like kind of how Matt says in his game. Don't want you carrying like 100 swords and that stuff. So just as long as it's not out of control, you're good.
Oh no, it's I'm not even at the encumbered stage yet. I'm perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, like
as for me, I have 8 strength and medium armor.
oh
so...
yeah, well yeah, no. Like myself, I'm still doing great. Christ, I could carry how much more? Oh, plenty. I'm getting there, but yeah. I
Barnabas
sold
is
them.
only
I
carrying
sold
15
things, yeah.
pounds.
I can literally carry 16 more pounds before I can't walk.
I'm kind of cheating. I'm using one of my abilities to turn my bag into a bag of holding. So
Hey, it works. All right. So yeah, you guys gather up everything. Any last minute stop shopping, anything like that before you head out?
Not for me.
Cloak possibly too when we get the tents.
Well, you would find the tents in the general store, and you could also find like cloaks, capes, like just hooded robes, all that kind of stuff, like traveling equipment in the store as well. So I'll say a cloak for travel would be like 5 silver.
Easy decision to take that. Since all I have are costumes for clothes, technically.
You have your one set of clothes and then a bunch of cosplays.
very nice.
And
Actually,
all right,
wait,
so
no.
anything else? Anything you guys didn't have last time that you would want? Anything like that?
Yep, I think we're ready.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, you guys make your way up to the northern gates. The guards open them up, no problem. And you guys head on out. At first, it's starting to drizzle, like as you're leaving the city. The wind isn't really picking up anymore. It's kind of like steady at like you'll get like a gust of wind every now and then, but other than that, it's pretty much just like breezy. But as you're walking, especially on the road, because the road, there are trees around it, but you're not really like being engulfed in by the canopy yet, since there is still a pretty decent sized road running through it. So you guys, over the next hour or so, start getting extremely wet as the rain picks up. As you're approaching the 2-hour mark, as you're like getting like actually, I'll say after about an hour and a half, who is like leading, keeping an eye out front?
Well, I have proficiency in survival, and I have the feature of wanderer, so I remember geography.
Well,
Seems like you're it, good man.
okay. All right. Well, if you want to just look around, like in the general area, do perception. If you want to look for any sort of tracks, anything like that in particular, go for survival.
Well, they're both the same roll for me, so I'll go survival.
Is there any way I can help?
Are you proficient in either of them?
I have guidance.
Oh, then yes, you can.
Oh, there you go.
Huzzah! I'll roll a
Wow.
d4.
Sir.
19.
Like looking around on the ground, you don't see like every now and then you'll see like little, very small, like small animal tracks. But mostly you see humanoid boots, a couple of horses here and there. But they're starting to get a bit washed out, like as the ground is turning extremely muddy with the rain. but it just looks like your average foot traffic for a road. It doesn't look like anything that you could actually follow or anything like that. It's not like there are any really veering off the road in this area. It's mostly just walking more deeply into the forest or back towards the city.
Nothing seems to be standing out so far. We're on a main pathway, so we can keep
And
going.
she did say about 5 hours, or not 5 hours, about 5 miles to where the road comes to an end. You've been walking for like an hour and a half. You're assuming that you're within like a mile of the end of the road.
We should be getting towards the end of the road, so I believe people should keep an eye out.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Well, in that case, whoever wants to keep an eye out for the party, go ahead and roll perception.
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, trust the old man.
That'll go great.
I'm proficient in it.
Yeah.
I have a +6.
Well,
I mean, you're walking. There's not really much to see. As you're getting closer and closer to the end, you do notice that the trees are getting much, much thicker. The canopy is getting much, much thicker. And as a result, there's not as much rain making it to you, although it is raining just as hard as it was for the past half hour. And as you're just approaching the 2-hour mark, Barnabas, you start to notice that the road is getting much thinner, and it comes to a bit of a like cul-de-sac at the very end. It's just like a rounded point, and there are more paths and trails leading off of it than you could count just by looking at it right away. It is like a spider web leaving this area. There are a ton of paths, and you guys are now currently just standing at the end of what the main road is and the beginning of a lot of trails.
Should we each take a path and just keep trying them?
That would be really not smart.
yes, no, crew needs to stick together.
Unless you know how to make your way back, I wouldn't recommend it.
Can Alba search for like maybe there's like markings that hunters use, similar to what like thieves can't?
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do an investigation of some of the like trees and stuff surrounding the paths. Okay. You do see some of the trees do have markings. They're not really anything like to read. It's kind of just like a symbol, like with an investigation, you're kind of getting the gist of it's just like the hunter's way of marking which trail is which. So they have like, so they don't have trouble remembering like, oh, if I follow this one, it's going to lead me here. Like it's kind of just like, I guess you could say it's kind of like thieves' cant for them, where it's just like letting them know which path this is and where it leads to. It's not like specific to any of the people or anything, from what you can tell.
Yeah. She'll be like, well, I don't speak hunter, but there seem to be markings on all the trees.
There is one marking that does catch your attention. And it looks like it is a humanoid shape with long hair. You would assume it could be a woman.
Perhaps this is the mysterious Nymoria?
Would it be possible for me to look at that path to see if it's less travelled over the last couple of days? As in, someone's not come back and forth?
Yeah, do a survival. It's hard to tell with that kind of stuff, because of how rainy it is right now, and like how most of the tracks have been like not washed away, but they're like kind of obscured, but something there does catch your eye. Like as you were walking up to it, most of the other paths, like I said before, it's all like there are no horses up here any further. Like you kind of get the idea that they're not taking their horses into the forest. And as you're sitting or as you're walking up, you notice like everything. It's all large, not large, but like human-sized boots. People walking with like some armored a little bit. Like, but the tracks that stick out to you, it looks like there's some humanoid bare footprints, and they're on the one that has the strange carving on a tree.
Gecko will crouch down and point out. There seems to be bear-like footprints on this trail. It's hard to make out exactly due to the rain, but it is different from the rest.
You could like see the bottom of what would be a human or elven foot. Like you could clearly see that's what it is, which is very different than the other ones. But yes, it is getting obscured and stuff, like being filled in with water and all that kind of stuff.
So we can go this way, but unfortunately, due to the weather, I cannot be certain of my tracking skills.
I'm sure your tracking skills will do just fine.
Yeah,
like
you tracked down those Ankeks without any problems. I'm sure you can do it.
Do not underestimate how rain and wind can change things drastically.
Not to mention that, but you probably left around 1 to 2-ish p.m. You've been traveling for about 2 hours, so it is already getting to be late afternoon. You got a 13. Yeah, so you'll know the path that you're looking just from knowing that the road you were traveling on was going to the north. This path that you're taking looks to be headed off to mostly straight, like mostly due west, maybe a little bit north as well. And you probably would estimate you have about another 3 to 4 hours of traveling with light, and you're not going to be able to travel nearly as quickly or easily as you have been, especially in the dark. But also, not to mention that you're going to be going through the forest now, not on a road.
Well, I wouldn't recommend travelling too long as it stands. Maybe an hour, 2, before we all have to set up camp.
should we instead set up around here, given the road, and we could simply keep watch? Otherwise, I don't know much about travel within the woods, but I assume it's not the best place to camp.
Depends on what's in the woods, but I will let everyone else decide where they would prefer.
Well, Alba, Barnabas, Oliver, your opinions?
I don't really know either way. I'll trust whatever you guys decide on.
Yeah, I'm not much of a forest dweller. I prefer cities and such, so wherever you find the best place to stay that seems safe enough, I'm fine with that.
Trees will probably provide better cover for the rain.
That's why we got the tents, good man. That's why we got the tents.
So, what is the decision? You guys want to bunker down? Because you still probably do, like I said, you probably have like a good 3 to 4 hours until nightfall. But just letting you know how it's going to be traveling throughout the forest, especially in the rain, wet, and dark.
Yeah, it looks like I think Gecko would be going for maybe an hour or two's worth more travel to see if there's somewhere specific to set up.
Oh yes.
Oliver's on board.
Alrighty. Seems we're heading in. Lead the way, Gecko there. You seem to be the man in the know.
All right, you can go ahead and roll another survival if you're going to be trying to follow these tracks.
Before you do that, Gecko, Oliver has such overwhelming confidence in your abilities. You can have a bardic inspiration die and guidance.
Huzzah!
So that's a D6 and then another D4.
Fantastic. I shall use them both.
Okay.
For a
Okay, so that is a
27.
Very nice. All right.
I knew he could do it.
Yeah. Well, as you start traveling, with a 27, I'll say for about probably a little bit over an hour, you're able to keep like you're not following the tracks perfectly, but you're able to keep with them well enough that you can always find another one like as you keep moving a little bit ahead. But after that, once the sun is starting to go down, like it's not dark yet, but especially in the middle of a bunch of trees, it's starting to get dim. So you're starting to have a little bit of trouble. I'll say after an hour and a half, you have completely lost the trail, but you know that you're heading towards the mountains, which would be about another like 6 hours traveling in these conditions. But you also know like not many hunters would probably go to the mountains, so you're not really too worried about having to travel that far. But yeah, you lose the trail in a very, very thick patch of forest where it's like possible that maybe they just walked over piles of leaves, or maybe they were walking on sticks and you just lost the trail in the mud, and you're not exactly sure what happened, but the trail is gone.
Well, I believe this is as far as I can take us for today. They seem to be heading towards the mountain, but we should make camp and find some dead firewood to start a fire.
Honestly, it's really amazing that you made it this far. I lost track of the ones even that you were pointing out quite a ways back.
Oh, I had a bit of help, but after you travel for long enough, you do pick these things up.
Right.
Of course, of course. Yes, perhaps. Yes. Oliver, perhaps you can see about some firewood with Gecko. While the rest of us see about setting up some sort of camp.
Then my only question to you all will be: are you setting up where you are? Do you want to like search for a like spot that you think would be better suited? Because right now you're just like you can find places to put them down, but the trees are very thick here. There's a lot of debris on the ground. Like you could do it, but it's up to you guys. I just want you to like kind of understand where you
gotcha,
are.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Would it?
Yes. Perhaps some place better to set up camp.
Well, if we can find one, then sure.
I mean, you rolled a 27. I'm not going to make you roll again just because you rolled a 27, obviously. And I'll say, like, you kind of like take a little bit, walk a bit of a perimeter around where you are, and you're able to find. I wouldn't call it a clearing, but it's the closest thing you're going to find to it, probably where you are. There's still debris and stuff on the ground, but there are not as many trees in the way. So, like, you find a spot that you would be able to get a good setup of like the tents closely, like, so you're not like having 3-4 trees in between you where you couldn't fit them. So it like you find a spot where it would probably be what you would assume is the best you can hope for right now.
Well, there seems to be a spot over here. We need to clean out the underbrush a little bit, but that's the best we're going to get.
Very good. Yes, we can get that.
All right. So then it was Geckel and Oliver going. I mean, it's hard to find dry wood. You're not able to do that, but you're able to find pieces that were like breaking off of trees, so it's not like they've been sitting on the ground soaking up in water. So you get some that you think will eventually be able to be used as firewood, although you may have to dry it out a little bit. And tents are no problem to put up. They'll be up by the time you guys get back.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, how are you
So,
finding your first camping experience out in these woods, Oliver?
Well, wetter than I expected, but other than that, mostly exciting. I know that's kind of selfish to say since we're looking for someone who's disappeared, but still, sorry.
There's no need to apologise, but I will warn you that during the night you will hear things and not particularly see them. So don't freak out too much, but be aware.
All right.
Forests can be quite a scary place when you can't see where the noise is coming from.
Yeah. I suppose staying the nights in the taverns might be loud, but at least you know what's making the noise most of the time.
Precisely. But again, I'm just pre-warning you to be on guard.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Shall we get back?
Yeah. If we've found enough wood, I'm pretty sure I can get something started.
Yeah, I'd say like after 10 or so minutes, you guys are able to find enough that you think. Well, I'm not that Oliver would think, but that Gecko
Right.
you think would be. Once it dries out, it's definitely enough to last you through the night.
Cool. I also have prestidigitation to instantly start a campfire as long as there is fuel for it. I can light a
hey,
campfire.
there you go.
Well, I will say that you do have the fuel for it. But since it is wet, it's going to take you like maybe a good 10 or 15 minutes of doing it over and over again to dry it out first,
Yeah,
and
that's
then it'll
fine.
catch. But I'll say, given a 15-minute process, you got the fire up and running.
I'll help him. I can cast that too.
There you guys go.
Yay!
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So what I'm taking from this is I'm going to have to nerf prestidigitation. So
It's okay, I got 6 more. Multi-classing is great.
You guys, just looking at it, I'll say between Geckel and Rothgar, and actually pretty much all of you except Oliver have had your fair share of like being around campfires and such. With the way the rain is not coming down nearly as bad here, but it is still like dripping down through the canopy. So you're probably going to go through firewood a little bit faster than you normally would, just to keep the fire burning enough to not go out. But just looking at the pile, you still think you have enough. You're just going to have to keep in mind that, okay, it's time to put more on and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Would it be possible to use the 1 quart of oil to rub onto the wood?
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
So it'll actually burn a bit better and a bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Use that jug.
So it is by the time you get the fire going and you have everything all set up, just looking around, you're assuming that the sun has finally completely gone down. Like it is, aside from your fire, pitch black around you. Like there are trees surrounding you and stuff like that too, but most of the time you can't even see to them. It's like it's very, very dark, and just all around, like, you hear the standard animals moving around, little ones crawling around, like some of them, like, you could hear rather close to you, like, chipmunk, stuff like that, just kind of come around, looking around, sniffing. um you hear a little bit further away what appears to be, maybe, you're not sure, deer, maybe something like that, traveling around, just running in a small group. um you don't hear anything that causes you any sort of worry, like there's no wolves howling, anything like that. So you guys are pretty well set up for a nighttime right now. What do you guys wish to do this evening?
Well, since we're just sitting around anyway, Oliver would probably, after moving all this stuff into the tent, get the front flap open enough that he can still like see out while being out of the rain. And I'm gonna break out my lute and start just fiddling with it a little bit.
Okay.
Just
I don't know if you have a loot check or if you want to just do a performance check. Either one.
either is fine.
Go for it.
It would be. Oh wow, that was
Ooh,
almost a crit fail.
Well, I mean, you're playing. You guys, not that best musician you've ever heard, and Geckel. Um, I'm going to. I was going to say choose what you want to talk with, like what kind of animal. But you can either talk to a rabbit or a. Well, actually, I'm not. No, not a rabbit. You can either talk to a chipmunk or a skunk, because most of the other ones have ran away from the noise.
I'll talk to Chipmunk.
Okay. Awareness. All right. So, yeah, it's kind of sits there, kind of like its head. It's just darting around nonstop. You assume just looking for food, looking for danger, keeping an eye out. Is just doing chipmunk things.
I'll take a bit of trail mix out and put my hand down. Excuse me, little one, would you like some of this?
It doesn't, like, they're not very intelligent creatures. It's more like, just based off of instinct. So you kind of get a feeling of appreciation from the animal, and he takes it and starts eating.
If you don't mind me asking, have you seen any more of these big folks travelling this path?
He's kind of still just there eating. Kind of shoves the rest of it in his mouth and has it like bunched up in his cheek. And when he looks back up at you, you can kind of see it, but you also feel like uneasiness. Like he there's something that he's seen around here that's bigger than him. But I mean, he can't point exactly to what it is.
Does this thing go by the name of Nymoria?
You get a lot of confusion.
Is this big thing a scary creature?
You get fear again. Whether that be because it's a scary creature or just because it's something that this thing in particular is scared of, you're not sure.
Do you know what direction it is?
You kind of get a feeling of he obviously it can't tell you what direction, but it's kind of like you can feel it getting more and more nervous, and it starts to get up and walk in a direction, and it turns around, sits back down, and it looks at you, and it feels a little bit less scared. Like you're kind of getting the idea that it's off to the opposite direction of where he was walking.
I'm gonna guess
is the last place that he saw it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's to the west.
Do a survival check right now, because you guys have been following a trail to the west for a while.
Oh.
You're pretty sure that, you followed the trail correctly. But you were kind of so like so focused on following the tracks that you kind of didn't keep your sense of direction intact. So you're not sure exactly which direction it is, honestly. It would be off to where you guys, like where your camp is set up. It would be off to a little bit, like to the front of the, like you have your. I'm assuming you're gonna have a fire, and are your 3 tents gonna be like next to each other?
Probably.
I kind of assumed like circle around the fire.
Okay. Okay. Well, then in that case, I'll say it will be to the back of Geckel's tent. So whichever tent is yours is going to be to the back of that one.
Okay. I'll just finish off by. That's all I needed to know. Just let your friends know that we mean none of you any harm. Okay?
All right. You again get appreciation, and then a extreme sense of fear as you hear a eagle in the distance, and this thing runs and hides off underneath a tree.
That's fair.
Do I see the eagle?
You cannot see anything. Like you're assuming it's got to be above the canopy, which you cannot see through at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and no one's just questioning that Geckel is talking to a chipmunk.
Oh, of course not.
I'm not paying attention.
Barnabas
seen
has
it
been smoking
before.
a lot of weed, so it's not surprising to him at all. Which Barnabas will also share if anybody would like to partake with him.
Sure.
No thanks. I can hardly see in the dark anyway, and at some point probably need to keep watch.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be able to enjoy it some other time, but not on the road.
Well,
He sort of shrugs and blows some smoke rings.
if you don't mind, I would like to certainly try it, see what variation you have.
Yep. He pulls out a second pipe because I'm sure he has, so that he don't have to,
Nice.
it's coronavirus. We're not going to share pipes, so he like hands you another one.
You're just being like a good citizen.
Exactly.
Barnabas has officially smoked enough that he is seeing past the fourth wall.
There you go.
So, is there anything else anyone wants to do before we're going to get into nighttime, like sleep time?
I'll just take out my wood carving tools, and I'm just going to see if I can find a nice bit of wood here, and just start carving basically little cannons.
Okay. Well, you are definitely. There's a nice pile of wood literally in a pile right next to the fire. Are you gonna grab one of those, or are you gonna go find a piece that is not gonna be for your fire?
Not for the fire. No, we need the firewood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, taking about 5 minutes, just because of how dark it is and stuff, you just take a little torch with you. You're able to find a suitable piece that you think you could probably get like 2 or 3 cannons out of.
Very good.
Anyone else? Barnabas? Oliver? Elba?
I'm all set. I'd probably just keep on plucking away unless someone intervenes in that process.
Very good. No, that's if you're a what like, as I'm carving the cannons, I kind of, and then wave my hand a little bit.
Did he cut out for anyone else, or is that just me?
Me too.
Yep.
Oh, I'll try again. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes. No.
We heard you say, "Can we hear you now?" And then nothing.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
All right, you gotta be joking at this point, right?
I was gonna say, are you trolling on something, man?
I'll try again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
It sounds like you're pressing push to talk, but you're pressing it too many times.
Nope, I'm just pressing it once. I don't know what's going on. carving little symbols into the cannons, wave the hand, and suddenly they just kind of vanish.
Okay.
Nice.
Are they like symbols like writing, or is it just like a symbol for you?
For me.
Okay.
So, who wishes to do the night watches?
I'll go first. I would like to not stay up super late.
Very well, I can join you on that.
Well, I will go after the two of you.
I can join on that one.
If I remember, I see better in the dark than most of you, so I can do one.
You
Well,
can do
we're
one.
gonna have 3 watches. There's 5 of you, so 2, and 1 works.
Oliver, are you prepared to do one alone?
Sure. I don't see why not.
Alba, could you do your watch with Oliver?
I can. I was just joking.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how much help I'll be. I can't really see, but at least I can hear things.
I guess that works out because I can make a slate too.
Oh yes, no worries there. Light will be easily taken care of. I'll take one of my torches and just kind of make it glow, and it's like set torches around the campsite a bit.
No, I've got my drift globe as well, but that doesn't mean I can see that far out.
Well, be careful not to draw too much attention. When I was talking to the chipmunk earlier, it was afraid of something in the woods.
This comment will be enough to make Oliver stop playing.
Oh, that's no worry. It's if just a chipmunk. They're afraid of many things, I'm sure.
No, this was a different type of fear. It was a apprehension of something it didn't quite understand.
But what does a chipmunk understand in the first place? I mean, come on.
Trust the chipmunk, Rothgar.
Well, all I can do is give you the warnings if you refuse to listen. That decision is up to you.
But that's why we're taking watch. Should be no worry.
Very well.
Well, then, before we get into sleeping and all the watches and stuff, we've been going close to 2 hours, and I'm gonna go fill up my water. So if we want to take a quick 5 minutes for everyone, I will be back in a few.
Cool.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Gotcha.
See you in a minute, guys.
All by myself. Don't wanna be. One is the loneliest number that has ever been. Two can be as bad as one, but the loneliest number is the number one.
I get back in time to hear just one is the loneliest number.
Yes.
I'm chalking that terrible performance check up to a waterlogged loot.
Sure.
You're still hungover.
That too. I have a +7.
If it makes you feel any better, I have a +0.
And you still did better. Oh, you guys are just rubbing it in now.
It's
Part of
always
us sings a little song, you know.
it's always funny when everyone outperforms the bard with the loot.
Well, we all pass a loot around, which we've never done before, and play better.
Note to self, expertise. One of those is going in performance.
There you go.
I did seriously consider being a lore bard purely on the grounds of eventually being able to inspire my own performances.
Lore Bard is my favorite.
I actually don't really like the lore bard.
Depends
Like
on your playstyle.
they've got some neat stuff, but I'm never happy with the way I usually would play a bard is either glamour bard or if I'm not multi-classing them, valor bard. Just because
Gotcha.
armor's real good. Like more skill proficiencies is nice, and same with more spells known. But I'll take that 19 AC over the lore bard's like 14 tops.
Well, like I said, I mean, it just depends on your preference. Like, so for me, I like the lore bard because if I play bard, I don't want to be, like, I want to be the guy who's, you know, basically just the support character. So I'm like, basically just annoying the DM all the time, just like casting ridiculous spells and like, oh, you'd like to do that counter spell, and just just crazy stuff like that all the time. But
Yeah, the early access to counters.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to fight. I don't want to take hit. I'm hiding in the back, and I'm just being obnoxious. That's all I do as a bard.
Don't get me wrong. Did you watch the Onkeg fight? That's what Oliver does too. I just don't like getting hit.
Oh yeah. See myself for bards. I'm partial to whisper. Like let's add a little rogue.
That's a hot take.
I'm still yet to play a bard.
They're fun, man. They are.
I will say, next level when it's glamour. God, that's going to be enjoyable. Now, instead of one of you taking a reaction, you all get to.
Nice.
Just, it's not for attacking, it's for moving. But it also heals you all, so...
There we go.
Real quick, just to be sure for everyone. I believe that 3 of you, is Barnabas one of them? Barnabas, do you have any spells that would give you light or anything like that, or no?
Nope.
Okay. So then for Oliver, for
Rothgar, I know, has
Roth-
his trinkets.
I have a
Yep.
lantern, but I don't have a.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll do that eventually too. But and now Alba, I think you could use the light because I did it as the light spell. You could also just use that as your drift globe.
Okay.
So if you're ever in the dark and you want to or use it, you can pull it out.
Cool.
And Rothgar, you also have light, right?
I have my magical tinkering. I basically took one of my torches and just made it light up with instead of actually lighting it.
Yeah, but
on
does
fire.
that is it the same as like a light spell, like the same distance and everything?
Yeah, it's got a 5 foot bright lit 5 foot bright 5 foot dim.
Okay, so then yeah, I'll have to do a different one for you then.
Wait, can't Rothgar see in the dark?
What's that now?
Can't you see in the dark?
Well, it's dark vision isn't like okay, I guess like for most part what I understand dark vision is you still need it's not like I can suddenly see just nothing. It's you got to have some light at least to
So mechanically, just rules is written for dark vision. It's even if there is like no light, you can
still see in like
60
dark,
feet.
yeah.
But you see in black and white. You don't see in color.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's still considered dim light for you, so you still have disadvantage on perception checks based on it as well.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm still gonna, I'm still
So,
gonna
yeah.
set the lights around the camp to at least give us something.
Yeah, light is always better than no light, even if you have dark vision.
You say that right now, but light also draws attention.
It does.
Well, of
Like,
course, yeah, but
I mean purely in like the in the sense of light always helps you see better, not so much in
Absolutely.
the it also draws attention. Yes.
oh yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, no, I figured even before, like I'm just gonna leave like my little torch things around the campsite. I can put 2 of them up. Actually, no, 3 of them up. Actually.
Okay, so everyone's back. We'll get back into it. So one last time, what was the watch order? I believe it was going to be Rothgar first with
Barnabas.
Oliver. Or I'm not. Yeah, Barnabas.
Barnabas. Yeah.
Okay, and then it was going to be Geckel by himself, and Oliver and Alba were going to take the last watch.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Well, in that case, the first 2 go ahead. I don't know. You guys can figure it out. One of you can either both roll perception, or one of you can do it with advantage.
Would you like it? I guess. Would you like advantage for it, or would you like one of us to try and roll it, Barnabas?
I have a +5 if you want to just give me advantage.
Oh yeah, that's a very good one. Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Okay. You hear a lot more of the same. Don't really see much. But you hear animals traveling, moving back and forth. Nothing that you would consider large, so it's not anything that you would actually be scared of. You hear a bit of thunder in the night, so I mean that mixed with the water still dripping down from the canopy, you assume it is still raining. But it's pretty peaceful. Nothing scary, nothing to worry about so far. Yeah, it's a pretty quiet watch.
All right. Well, Barnabas, definitely a seasoned adventurer there. What are you making of getting back in the game? What drew you in?
He kind of raises an eyebrow. He starts to say something and then stops himself and says, "Oh, being retired is quite boring."
I suppose I could see that. Of course, I guess it depends on the retirement. But yes, I could see that.
And I thought I would help my friend who showed up and had a goal in mind, and it's better than sitting around by yourself.
Very good, yes. Loyal to the crew. Yeah, very nice.
Unless you guys have any other stuff to discuss,
Oh,
it
no.
will be Gecko's watch.
Huzzah! Let's see what I miss.
Yeah. Ooh.
I see everything.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, you still do hear the animals, like the standard ones. You do at one point see a. You're not exactly able to make it out, whether it be like some sort of an elk, a moose, a deer type thing. It's a rather large four-legged creature that has antlers on its head. That kind of is approaching, but once it like sees you kind of think that the fire drew it in, but once it like looks around and has a bit of a smell, it doesn't really. It kind of just turns off and prances back away. Um, but as your watch is coming to an end, you kind of like with a 23, you kind of notice stuff starts getting quiet. You don't know if it's just animals that have gone to sleep, if they're not moving around as much, if it's the weather that's bothering them. But it's gotten extremely quiet. Like it's very few and far, like between hearing animals skittering around anymore. Like even the small ones that were coming around before, it's gotten eerily quiet.
I'm gonna stand up and take my great axe out and look around.
Okay. You don't see anything. It looks the same as it did before. Uh, there's nothing in your sight. Like you walk a perimeter around the camp, like to where the campfire is reaching. Take a look out all around, and you don't see anything. You do see a couple owls in different tree branches and stuff like that that have kind of like perched up for the night, looking for mice to hunt and such. But nothing really moving around, nothing making noise. But yeah, it's just gotten very quiet.
I'll put the axe away, and I will wake up Alba and Oliver. Oliver, it's your turn for watch.
Thanks for the waking.
Yeah.
Just be warned. It's too quiet.
Well, that's good to know. Hopefully, we don't actually see anything come up to us, but I will be sure to wake you up if things get a little bit dicey.
Yeah.
Please do. Just in forests, you're supposed to hear the natural movement of little creatures, but with the lack of noise right now, just be wary.
I was kind of getting my hairs to stand up on end. I'm not used to this quiet. Not that I was used to the quiet of even the animals there. But for now, get some rest.
Thank you. Enjoy your watch.
Oh, Gecko, I know you said you didn't need a tent, but obviously mine's empty now if you want it.
Sure. I'll place the great axe on the outside of the tent and get some sleep.
Right. So, I mean, you guys get to do the same. You either each roll, or one of you can roll with advantage.
How are you at that, Alba?
Terrible at it. How are you at it?
+4?
Oh, not too bad. Okay, I'll give you advantage.
I'm going to assume that since guidance only lasts for a minute, I can't guidance myself.
Yeah, no, because this is going to be pretty much doing it over the entire watch.
Right. And that by the same merit, I probably can't I can't inspire myself anyway. So, okay. So we need perception at advantage. Which I'm assuming...
You definitely do notice the quiet. You guys are sitting there. Would you guys be talking about anything, or are you kind of just I don't know how Oliver would be on a watch for his first watch. Like, are you conversating, or are you like, nope, serious time, I'm listening?
Probably, given that we also started this watch with a something's wrong, pretty serious, concentrating, little nerved up.
Alba, what about you? Are you going along with it, or are you kind of chit-chatting?
No, she'll just go along with it, but rather than his like tense stance, she's probably just laying back against the tree, hands behind her head.
Okay. After a couple hours of like, so if you guys are sleeping 8 hours and we're saying we're only doing 3, so each watch is about, I'll just say 2.5 hours, just to make it a round number. So about an hour into your guys' watch, you start hearing movement again. But it's like singular movement. It's not like the animals have come back out and are moving around. You hear like kind of like twigs snapping and stuff like that, and it's just all coming from the same area, like one direction. And it seems to be kind of like the first time you hear it, it is I don't know exactly how you guys are forming or like sitting right now, but it's like Alba, to where your back is, like the back on the tree, it's to your back right hand side. And then the next time you hear anything else, it's to a little bit to the left. It kind of sounds like do an intelligence check, both of you.
All right.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like something is beginning to circle your camp.
I will look to Alba for direction.
She will nod towards, I guess, she will nod towards Barnabas's tent. Just keep him quiet.
Keep him quiet? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she will try to, now that she knows kind of where the sound is coming, get a better look.
Okay.
Do a perception check. You don't have night vision, so with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, and she's great at this. 2.
Would have been good. All right, so yeah, you kind of get up and you're kind of squinting, looking through, and you don't really see anything. It's too far, it's too dark. But as you're like really concentrating and looking, you start to hear it's strange. It sounds like a very, very mumbled but beautiful like voice. You can't make out any words, but it's like it sounds like it's going along to a melody, like kind of like very whispered singing. And it's slowly just making its way around your camp.
Okay, she's going to wake up. I guess the closest tent would be Gekko at this point.
Okay. As you're going to wake up Gekko, you just hear a bit of a giggle and laughter, and it's all quiet again.
She pauses. Must be a fey creature. Well, just in case it plays any pranks, maybe they should wake. Don't remember much about Faye at this point. And she will go back and go into the tent and poke at Gekko.
Gekko, you're getting poked.
Is something wrong?
Seems like we may be being watched by a fey creature of some kind, possibly. I heard singing and giggling and then no noise. Better safe than sorry. I figured I'd let you know.
Very well. It may be a case of it's just checking to see what's here first. I'd say just be on guard for the rest of the watch, but we should be safe for tonight.
Okie doke, sounds good. Thank you very much for allowing me to wake you up without biting my head off. Hope you sleep well continued. Good day, or night.
Good night.
And I will give you one last little extra bit. Oliver, you rolled a very good intelligence check to like kind of pinpoint where that it was circling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time that you heard it, it would have been off to the back of what would have been Alba and Barnabas's tent. So that's where you start. That's like where you heard the giggling and laughter, and then it went quiet. The last spot you heard it would have been like a little bit to the left of where the back of their tent is.
Okay. I would wait for Alba to come back out and ask. I think it was over that way, and point, and just should we just wait or?
Yep, that's what Gecko said. Wait and watch. If we
All
do
right.
get attacked by a bunch of fey creatures, we just, I guess, yell really loudly. It'll be fine.
All right.
So just right back to normal watching.
More intense watching?
Okay. Well, then
Definitely
in
a
that case,
preference
since you guys
for-
have like a specific thing you are listening and watching for, you could roll your perception again, Oliver, with another advantage. Since I'm sure
Yay.
Alba would be willing to help again.
All right, advantage perception.
All right. Again, it's extremely quiet for maybe the next 20 to 25 minutes, and then again you just start hearing animals creeping around. Kind of like the return of the normal sounds that you had been hearing beforehand. No more laughter or anything like that. Nothing. No singing. It kind of seems like everything's getting back to be a little bit normal. Animals, small ones, kind of crawling around. It's kind of a calming feeling, but then again, you did just hear extremely weird things, so you're still on guard, but you kind of get the sense that it's okay right now.
Just wait out the rest of the watch, then, I guess.
All right. And within another hour or so after that, you could see some little, like very little beams of sunlight start peeking through the canopy. And yeah, it's morning. The others are starting to wake up. The fire is still going. But it is, again, I shouldn't have said sunlight. It's kind of just like light, because it is, from what you can tell, still raining and cloudy. But there is a bit of like natural light that's making its way through, so it's not like you're completely reliant on the fire.
Since I was on last watch anyway, I'm gonna take this time to try to maybe prep some rations for everyone as they're getting up. I have like a mess kit and stuff, and we have a fire, so just heat up anything that could be heated up, things like that.
Easy enough. Boil some water, make some tea, whatever you want. You are good to go.
Awesome. And I assume that would be a ration for everyone out of my supply.
I mean, I'm not going to make it like every now and then if you want to fill up on rations, you'll go ahead. But yeah, you could take off, like, I'll say 5 people eating. Take off 3 and you'll be good.
Okay.
Did the voice come back during the night?
Surprisingly not. If it was fair, I was expecting it to keep trying to tease us until we woke everybody up.
Well, until we know its exact purpose, it may have just been looking.
I
So
will say, I'm glad you told me about the forest noises. That would have been just as scary when it started again.
Well, that's why I realized something was awry. A forest has natural sounds such as the rain, creatures moving around, but when it goes deathly silent, it means something is about to happen.
Yeah. Anyway, I got rations ready for everyone for this morning.
Ah,
That was very kind of you.
thank you.
I figured it was the least I could do.
I kind of finally burst out full arm. It's just, how'd the watches go, folks?
Well, it seems we were visited last night.
Ah, by what sort?
A possible fey creature. Giggling, singing, of things of that nature. Didn't actually get too close, though, it seemed. It was over there, and she kind of points towards Barnabas's tent.
I mean,
Barnabas,
I, as a
did you
player,
see
have an
anything?
idea about what it might be. Can I make a roll for Barnabas to think what he might know?
what do you want to roll?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, like,
Intelligence? History?
okay, well let's say all right. If you think it is some sort of magical anything creature like that, roll Arcana. If you think it is a natural creature, like, and I would consider Fey somewhat. I don't know what I would consider Fey
I'll
actually.
use Arcana. That's the
Okay.
I am.
Well, it does definitely meet Fey creature criteria. Um, you know, the thing that sticks out to you that makes you kind of shy away from that is it didn't do any tricky stuff. It didn't like play a prank or anything. Um, as far as other stuff, I mean, you're not exactly sure. It could have been a random person out in the forest. It could have been anything, like anything. You're not exactly sure, able to like pinpoint what it you like. You have a broad idea. You don't think Faye just because again it didn't play any tricks, but other than that, you're not really sure if it was just a person, something sinister, something else entirely. You're not sure.
I'm sorry, if that was just a regular person in the middle of the forest, they're creepy as fuck.
There are people that are creepy as fuck everywhere.
This is true.
It might have been a hills have person eyes. You don't know.
But,
There are hills have
Nice.
eyes.
yes, considering when I was talking to the chipmunk last night, it said there was a creature from behind the tent I slept in that direction. Is that where the sound originated or finished?
You guys
No.
rolled pretty well. It it probably originated about halfway between where it ended and Geckel's tent.
Not exactly. And I would just point out, as I explained, it seemed like it started over there, and by the time it stopped, it was over in that direction.
Well, to be fair, just so you guys do realize, it did circle like you heard it go around the entire camp like at
Okay.
least 2 times. So it's not like it only went from like one point to another point then left. It did get a circle around it, the whole like encampment.
Okay. But it did go around a couple times, I think. So it's hard to tell.
Well, it's possible that this Nymora could be the woman or Fae that paid us a visit last night, but without proof, it seems a little coincidental. She's on the same track as the missing hunter.
Well, are there any form of markings that we could follow?
I can certainly look to see if she left any tracks or markings.
Very good.
She might be related to the long hair symbol, woman symbol I saw. I could search around the tree, see if I find any other ones.
Well, we can search together, see what we can come up with.
All right. So, if you two are gonna go search, I'll say Alba, if you're searching for like symbols and such, you could do an investigation. And Geckel, if you're gonna be looking for a trail or if it left any sort of tracks, you could do survival.
Alba do super good.
Yeah, Alba, you kind of look around. You don't see anything, like there's no markings on any of the trees around. It's not even that you can't find them, it's just that they're not there.
She just shrugs. Looks at Gecko, shrugs again.
Geckel, as far as you see a very distinct set of bare humanoid feet that encircled the camp last night.
I'll follow them around the camp. Do they lead off or do they just circle?
They lead off in the direction that was the last place where Oliver said he heard it.
Well, I've found the tracks of the barefooted woman. We can attempt to follow her or the main track. Which would you all prefer?
Weren't we following those tracks to begin with?
We were, but it depends on which direction you'd wish to go. Do you wish to follow the new tracks or the main trail?
My instinct tells me the woman is, or bear woman thing, is somehow related to the hunter's disappearance. I vote the strange bear.
I concur.
Barnabas just shrugs.
That sounds good to me.
All right, and just to clarify, when I said bare footprints,
Yeah,
I literally mean
barefooted.
just bare feet, not like bare, like not like a roar barefoot.
The first time you said it,
Yeah.
I thought that's what you meant, but I figured it out.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh yeah.
no shoes, no socks, no nothing. That kind of bear. Okay, so you guys are able to get up, pick up camp, all that kind of stuff, easy peasy. So Gecko, you're gonna try to follow this trail.
I am going to give it a good go.
All right. Another perception check. If anyone else has proficiency in survival, you can help him. If not, it's going to be regular roll.
Shall I say, would anyone like to offer any form of assistance?
I'll see what I can do again, and I'll do the guidance thing again, but I'm not
Okay.
proficient.
All right. So you'll have a plus D4. Okay.
Hey.
27.
Oh yeah. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. It's you're able to follow them, and as you're following them, you notice it is rather. It seems as if it was trying to cover its trail. Like you notice that it goes off in another direction to make a circle around and come back heading in the same direction. Like you think that this thing is mindful and was trying not to be followed, but you are very good at tracking and you were able to keep up with it. You are heading off. Actually, you know what? You rolled a 27 for survival. You're actually heading off not towards the mountains right now, but just more deeply into the forest to the north. Just by where the sun was rising from, like where the light was coming in from and stuff, you're able to tell that you're going to the north, and you are able to follow the trail.
Well, it seems the woman is trying to hide her tracks, but we are heading further north, deeper into the forest. Just keep your eyes about, everyone, please.
But of course.
God, it's only a +3, but I'm hitting these survival rolls.
I have a +3 to survival, but I'm just not proficient.
All right, so you're following. Like depending on how long it's going to take. Like, are you just following the trail? Or are you trying to move quietly? Like, what are you guys doing?
I would think we're probably just going to try to be as quiet as we can.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So everyone roll a stealth check then.
Fun.
This is not going to go well.
It's not going to go well between. I imagine Rothgar and I are going to cause problems for this.
We did exactly the same amount of bad. Just
Hey, at least neither of you was worse than the other, so you can't put the blame completely on one person. All right. So yeah, Gecko, you are slowed a bit by having to kind of quite frequently turn around and shush a couple of people that are making a bit of too much noise. But you keep following the trail. It's again, you're going around in circles a little bit, like trying to see where it's going. But eventually you come up to an area, and you're not sure if it's because of maybe the weather above the canopy, or if the canopy is just much thicker here, but it is dark here again as well. Not pitch black, but dark. And up ahead, on like maybe a tree about 100 to 150 feet away from you, you see a bit of what appears to be shimmering, flickering light on the tree bark. And you stop for a second, don't really hear anything. It is like 150 feet away where you see the light, so what would you like to do?
It seems we found where the tracks lead. There appears to be a light coming from the tree over there. Can you all see it?
I think so.
It's
it's-
kind of dark, but
if
maybe,
it's coming
yeah.
from the tree there, perhaps your owl could go check it out.
Is it my perception for that?
I think it'd be the owl's perception, which it will have an advantage on.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't have the owl token.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll do it. Owl. Right, I'm just gonna roll it this time, and then I'll give you access to the owl sheet.
Cool.
Barnabas doesn't even want it. He hates that stupid owl.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, wait. It would have had advantage, so I'll roll
Yes,
one
it
more.
would. So see if you get a nat 20. No, not quite.
Okay. Well, with a 19, all right. Yeah. Are you having it just fly up and take a look around? Or are you having it like look for anything in particular?
See what it can. I mean, just the light in general. See what it can
Okay.
sort of decipher.
It's flying around, and it sees in a little bit of a clearing, it sees a campfire that is currently lit. And sitting next to it is a humanoid figure that is has a darkish green cloak over it, like hooded and everything, kind of just sitting there next to the fire.
Covered in hair because it's a bear.
It does not have shoes on. It's bare feet.
It's bare feet. All right, so he will inform everyone that that's what hit the owl saw.
So, we could try to get a little closer quietly. I would say not to draw any weapons unless attacked. Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Let's see if this person is friend or foe. And Gecko will start to slowly / quietly head over to the campfire.
All right. If you guys are once again trying to be quiet, since you had stopped and restarted, everyone do another stealth.
I will wait so I don't have to stealth.
I will do the same.
Mhm. All right.
I like to imagine that Barnabas himself is not making noise as stealthy. He's just yelling at everybody else for being loud. So
You're doing it wrong. Okay. Yeah. So you three approach. There's a bit of a mound in front of you that it looks like you could see the light reflecting off of a tree that's on top of the mound, and over it, Alba, you actually, the tune is very familiar. There's more humming, and this time it's not singing, it's not words, but it's humming and whistling, and it's to a very familiar melody that you heard last night.
Oh, this is definitely the woman.
Well, let's try to introduce ourselves and let's see what happens from there.
So as you guys are moving in a little bit more, you hear a voice, and it's just, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I can't do a nice female voice.
Do it!
You just hear, yes, my dear Six, we have finished. Soon it will be time to put it to the test. No, are you hungry, dear? Oh, there's a bit of meat left over there. Go have some. And then it kind of trails off, and the humming and singing starts again. Or I'm sorry, the humming and whistling.
I'll walk around the mound and I will. Excuse me there. Are you okay?
In second. Real quick, did Barnabas and Alba follow along with him, or were you staying away?
I think I probably would have walked behind him.
Yep.
Yeah, specifically behind him.
Yep,
Yes.
specifically behind.
Very much so.
Okay. All right, I will move you all to a map to give you a better representation.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Again, I'm trying for diplomacy.
Well, we sent the meat shield in first.
And you guys are, I'll say it'll take you one, like it'll take you like one set of movement to get to where like you are on the map currently. Although you guys could start walking up now that you've seen him like kind of show himself. So I'll actually, yeah, you guys are fine where you are. So yeah. The head kind of looks up at you, and it appears to be a elvish woman, pulls a hood off, and she kind of looks up and just has a very nice smile on her face, just kind of looking at you expectantly.
Hello. I believe you visited our camp last night.
She nods and just, yeah. Well, I didn't know who was entering my forest. I wanted to have a look.
Your forest, if you don't mind me asking, who are you?
I don't know what they call me. I've been out here for too long by myself.
Perhaps Nai Moria?
She kind of looks over to you, Alba, and the smile turns into a bit of like a half smile smirk kind of thing, and she just goes, As I said, I'm not sure. But my question is, what brings you all out here?
Searching for a missing hunter. Do you know of any? Considering this is your forest.
She gets another big smile on her face, and she goes, "Oh yes, they tend to come out here once in a while. One went missing. That is so sad. But no, I don't know of anything."
Do I believe her?
An insight.
Alba will also attempt one, although she is bad at this.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
I'm
Alba,
good
do
at
not...
it, and I did terrible.
Barnabas and Geckel, you guys believe her completely. Alba, you don't you don't like think she's lying, but something is off. You're not sure what, but it just something does not feel right.
May we approach?
Well, you three real quick do a perception check.
Our rolls are terrible tonight.
Unless it's survival, yeah.
I
Alright.
mean, I'm proficient in all these things, and I'm terrible.
Well, Alba and Barnabas don't really see anything, but Geckel, you kind of are looking around, and something really bothers you right now. That you heard her talking to something, but you don't see anything or anyone. It was kind of like she was talking to a child or something like that, and there's just nothing here but her.
Who were you talking to a moment ago?
She kind of looks up at you. Well, eavesdropping is not very nice. You should have been taught better than that.
Perhaps, but it's also not polite to creep around someone's camp uninvited.
Again, my forest, I do what I wish, but to answer your question, my little darling six.
Where are they currently?
She doesn't say anything, but her eyes go up to this tree that had the fire reflecting off of it, and you see a bit of what looks to be some sort of flesh, meat, whatever, that's just sitting on a branch up the tree a little bit.
Does this look like a body or a person?
You can't tell if it's human meat, bear meat, deer meat. It's literally only like a chunk of the meat. There's no skin attached, anything like that. It just looks like a chunk of meat. Not cooked or anything, but it is a chunk of meat.
I'll just signal to Alba to probably bring the other two over here.
Okay. Alba will probably... she'll stick one hand behind her back and kind of wag a finger to get them closer. Or at least prepared.
As you're kind of doing it, the woman looks and she goes, "Oh, more friends coming." She looks at you all kind of closely and she goes, "The one with horns and the one with a bit too much armor. Yes?"
Yes, we'd like to meet the other person here if possible.
That is the name she's been saying.
6.
Yes.
Yes.
She kind of smiles and goes, "Oh, that is completely up to my darling if he wishes to introduce himself. I doubt it, though."
Well, we would be very honoured if we could meet this 6.
So are you guys approaching closer, or are you kind of keeping your distance?
Yeah, I would approach closer since Alba motioned us closer.
Yeah, I'll move up as well.
All right. You guys feel free to move up.
I'll probably take a step closer.
As you take a step closer, yeah, she doesn't know movements or anything like that. There's an uneasy feeling that you can't quite pin down. It's just something. But yeah, she just kind of has a very she's beautiful, but it's weird the way she just seems so unfazed by you got a group just coming up to her and, like it's strange. You're not sure how though. But she kind of just looks as you approach and she goes, "Well, is there anything else I can help you with? I wasn't planning on staying here very long today."
Yes. Could you tell me why I have such an uneasy feeling in this area?
She kind of has another big grin on her face. She goes, "I wouldn't be able to tell you why you're a coward, but I don't know. Are you scared?"
Ooh.
Fear and caution are different things.
And as you're getting closer, like you notice she doesn't have a lot of things with her. Like as far as belongings around the camp, it's kind of just she's there. She has a kind of dark leather black or backpack, some sort of like walking stick, and other than that, it's kind of just like she's traveling very light, I'll say.
I mean, would anyone else like to chirp up? So, say, as she's not really giving anything away, is it possible for me to make either a perception or a survival check to see if I can see if there's anything around, or if I can identify what is making me feel wrong?
I will say if you want to have a look around just to see if anything sticks out in the camp, it'd be perception. Survival would not do much since you kind of like aren't like looking for tracks or anything. You've kind of, unless you want to look for some sort of tracks too, that's fine for survival. But if you just want to have a look around, go perception.
Yeah, I'll probably go perception. I'm trying to figure out what's causing Geckel's uneasiness.
Alba will step beside Barnabas and just put a hand on his arm and say, "Can you see what the thing is?"
GM, would you... I know this isn't mechanically how it works. Would you allow me to use my danger sense to gain advantage because I sense I am in danger?
if you want to specifically focus on her with like either like a perception or anything like that check, I'll say you can focus on it with her since that is kind of where the uneasiness is coming from. Sure, I'll give you advantage on it with her, but as far as like just having a look around the camp to find stuff out of place, no.
Yeah, I'll take that then.
Okay.
Oh, 12.
I mean, you're not exactly sure. She's sitting there. I mean, just looking around, you kind of you find that you do notice a couple of strange things. First of all, she is barefoot. She's not very dirty. Like the rest of you, kind of looking around, you guys have been trekking through mud. You've been rained on. She looks pretty well kept right now. Like her hooded, or she had a hood on and stuff, but so Her clothes are wet, but they're not really dirty as you would expect someone who is in the forest. But yeah, as far as like anything else about her, you're not really able to tell.
If that's the case, I'm going to purposely make it seem like I'm lowering my guard and turn away and look around.
So since you are going to try to purposely make her think something, you could either roll deception or performance.
This will go well.
Both at a +0, so I'll go performance.
It's not a negative, though.
You hear a bit of a chuckle as you start looking around, but you could roll perception. Are you like walking around, or are you kind of just like looking around from where you are?
Probably take a couple of steps to about here.
All right. You start looking around, and as you're kind of looking, she starts giggling a little bit more and more. But over in this direction, you do see a pile of bones. Like, still, it doesn't look like the meat has been completely taken off of it, but there are bones. There's like blood. There's meat on it, so it looks like a recent kill, maybe.
I will look to the group with concern and go a bit further across to see if I can identify what species of bone this is.
As you start to walk a little bit closer, she kind of starts. She kind of quickly actually stops laughing, and she goes, "Oh, I'd be careful. My dear Six is not very fond of sharing."
Well, the pile of bones is just something I wish to check out. Loud enough for everyone else to hear. A pile of bones.
I'll step a little forward upon hearing that as well.
All right, real quick, everyone, perception.
I mean, for God's sake, I'm the barbarian. There's got to be people better at this than me.
Oh God, I rolled
Well,
horrible.
Alba, Oliver, you guys are kind of close to each other, and from let me get right here. From this tree right here, Oliver, you're a bit closer, so you hear it more than see it. But Alba, you see a branch shake a bit, and then you both hear like the flapping of wings, but you don't see anything. And after a couple of seconds, Gecko, you hear the flapping of wings as well, and something land on somewhere around here. And you see a tree branch shimmy a little bit, but not much.
Alba has her hand on one of her rapiers.
I will, keeping one eye on where I'm assuming Six has just landed, I will continue to take another step around to inspect some bones.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a bad idea.
Go ahead and roll. I'll say either nature or medicine.
I'll take nature because I have a proficiency in it.
Rolled a 17.
Nice.
Okay. You didn't even have to roll that well. 2 legs, 2 arms, torso bones, humanoid skull. You're pretty sure this was at some point a person. No, there's no like skin left over. It seems to be mostly bones, fat, and meat.
I will slowly turn back and face Albert as she's the closest one.
And before you get to say anything,
I was about to say I was going to place my hand on my great axe so she could purposely see me grasping at it.
All right. Well, Alba rolled decently on perception, so I'll say she does. But before that happens, you are going to be attacked by an invisible creature that will give it advantage. So it is going to try to bite out at you from right here. So it is a 21 to hit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty sure.
All right. This is just a bite attack. You take 8 points of piercing damage since you're not raging yet.
Yes.
And it reveals itself to you. And looking up, you see a very ugly, skinny, bat-like imp. And it is also going to take a swing at you with one of its claws. This one is not at advantage, and it only rolled a 9.
That won't miss.
Right? In that case, we are all going to... let me clear that. We are all going to go ahead and make sure you click on your tokens, and we'll all roll initiative.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for someone else to take point on talking then.
Well,
Alba did some talking, and then she was like, he's talking. It's fine.
All right. Did everyone roll already?
I rolled a natural 1. Barnabas fell asleep as everyone was talking.
oh no.
You guys all bored the old man so badly. All right. Okay. Well, as everything's kind of starting, the laughter and stuff starts getting louder and louder and more. It's not very pleasant or sing-song anymore. It's starting to become very unnerving and just very, very strange. As all of, I hate having so many things on my screen. As all of a sudden, the beautiful elven woman
Is a hag.
is a very ugly creature that I will not
Hey.
confirm or deny is anything.
There you go.
Yeah, I was having my suspicion during that, but
All right. So our first action will be Geckel.
well, this shit-eating little imp just bit me, so I am going to rage.
There you go.
Right. Raging it is.
And because I like to keep it fun, I shall be recklessing every single attack I do.
Oh,
Okay.
And you didn't play Berserker, man. That's what you. If you were reckless, you should have been a Berserker, man.
Yeah, but at least now I have resistance to everything bar psychic. So, big money. Yeah, that's not bad.
That is going to hit for 14 points of damage.
And I'll just take a step or two back across. Because I've only got one attack at level 3.
All right.
I can fix that.
That's your turn, yeah?
Correct, yes.
Okay, Rothgar. You have not currently seen the imp since it is still somewhat obscured by the trees, but you have seen this beautiful woman turn into something very dark and sinister looking.
Oh yes, and I'm going to take out my pistol. And madam, I believe you've been a bit uncurt. And take a shot.
I want to give you advantage just for saying that, but I'm not gonna.
Boo.
All right, that definitely
Alright.
hits and does 8 points of damage.
All right.
Very nice.
And then yeah, that'll be all this time.
Okay. All right. It is this woman's turn. She is going to continue to cackle and laugh maniacally, and she will approach you, Alba.
Yep.
She is going to go ahead and take 2 swipes at you with her fingers that are ending in very, very nasty looking nails that are pretty much as sharp as claws.
Yep.
The first one is a 18 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. That is 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Are her nails as sharp as bear claws?
They are, they are also bare hands.
Hey.
Well, she's a bag.
Yes.
And the second attack is a 14.
Misses.
Okay. And she, like, she's terrifying to look at. And she is up in your face, but it is your good friend Oliver's turn right now.
All right. I suppose my immediate reaction to this, given that everyone was talking about Fae and stuff last night, Alba, you get to be put under the effect of, if I pull it up here, protection from evil and good,
There you
Nice.
go.
Alrighty.
which also lets you use your reaction to make a weapon attack.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
Yeah, that is definitely going to hit. And since it's your first attack of the round, you get sneak attack.
I might actually not. Where's the sneak attack part?
Well, I mean, as soon as it's next turn, it's the start of your turn. So
Yeah,
you
but
get
it's
sneak
just
attack again.
if you are. It's if no other creatures are within 5 feet of me.
But you are a swashbuckler.
No, that's
This-
what
this
the
part right here.
swashbuckler gets. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says a creature if I am within 5 feet of it, but no other creatures are within 5 feet of me. So does that mean?
Yeah, that's true, because
all right, well,
rocks
Rob,
are too close.
Yeah, Rob, you are our expert on swashbucklers. Does that include friendly targets, or is it only enemies?
Generally, it's only enemies, but rules as written, it's allies as well. That would be an entirely DM call, but it is generally just considered enemies.
I honestly would rather go with just enemies. That was my first thought. Would be like it would be someone taking your like focus away, kind of like the same way that flanking works.
Okay.
So if it's only one of your allies, I will say, yeah, you're good.
Okay,
Cool.
then sneak attack.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I
I-
knew you were gonna roll bad. Okay, so that is another 9 points of damage still. All right.
and
You have bonus action and movement still, I believe.
Yep. I will just use my movement to move back away again. And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. Alba, it is your turn, which now you do have a reset on your sneak.
Yay, so she'll move right there. Attack twice.
Right. 15 and 11, neither hit.
Okay, and then let's make me when you. Okay, so if I make a melee attack, so I'm still good too.
Move away. Okay.
It's good to know
Cool.
a 15 doesn't hit.
And now I will be right back as I go shuffle the animals.
Okie dokie. All right. It is now 6's turn. And you are going to get swiped at again, Geckel.
At
With his
advantage,
claws. Yep. 20 to hit.
it will hit.
Okay. It's only 3 points of damage because, 3 damage is already halved. And then it is actually going to.
That's not before you do that.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
going to use
whatever
my
the hell the
vengeful
counterattack.
assault.
Yep. Go for it. Go
At
for it.
advantage,
Yep.
if it comes through, for an extra 17 points of slashing.
Okay, yeah. This thing, it's looking pretty hurt already. It is not the hardiest of creatures. But as you hit it, it kind of like lets out a bit of a hiss, and it's going to turn around, and a very pointy tail is going to come shooting at you, and he's going to try to sting you.
Yeah.
a 24 to hit.
Yes.
You get
Wow, it's doing great.
you get 3 damage, which is already halved, and then I need a Constitution saving throw.
Jesus.
Okay, so it's 11 poison damage halved, so it's only going to be 5 from the poison that it propels into your bloodstream.
Yay!
And it is going to stay right where it is because it does not want to move away from you and get smacked. Barnabas.
All right, so I'm trying to think of the. I'm gonna cast Magnify Gravity, but I'm gonna cast it like here so that she's the only thing within a 10-foot radius. I think I can do that.
Yeah, if you were right on
Yeah, if you
this
do it right there. Yep.
spot, you would get just.
You'd actually from right. Yeah, right
If
there.
you centered it like on the cross point, you would be fine.
Right in that area is good. So Magnify Gravity, it lasts for 1 round. All right, so 10-foot radius, center point, each creature in the sphere. All right, so it makes a Constitution save.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wow, that was Charisma. All right, it rolls a 10.
So 14 force damage and movement speed is halved.
So 14 force damage and the movement speed is okie dokie. All right, so and that's only for the round while this lasts, right?
Until the end of its next turn. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So okay. Any movement or anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I love how Barnabas kind of just throws badass spells out and then just kind of stands there afterwards. He doesn't really move around or anything.
He's old,
like,
man.
I'm good. All right, Gecko, back to you.
I shall be recklessly trying to chop an imp in half.
Okay, let's go. 13, I think, just misses. Yeah, it
God
just
damn.
misses.
That's just disappointing.
Like literally just misses. It has a 14.
Okay.
Any movement?
No, I'll wait till it hits me so I can just... No, that's it.
Rothgar, it is on you again.
All right. Well, I'll take out my wood carving tools and kind of wave them about, and I summon forth one of those cannons from last night. And I'm going to. It's actually going to be a force ballista. Yes. All right. 1 second.
All right.
Right, and it's going to take a shot. Range spell attack. So where are we here? That's gonna miss.
Yeah. All right.
And that is my turn.
Okay. I didn't know if you had any bonus or anything. You're staying where you are?
Well, summoning it is the action. The firing is the bonus. Yep.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
I'll actually no, I'm gonna move a little bit. We'll go down here. Yep.
And
That'll be all.
This thing's turn again. So its movement speed is halved for the whole round, right, Matt? It's not just in that area?
Yeah, it's to the end of its turn. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. So it can only move 15. So it could still reach anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think since you kind of just didn't hit it, she's not going to go for you. Barnabas, you've done the most damage to it. It's going to move towards you. It's only going to take 1 swing at you. It rolled a 26 to hit.
Oh, that misses. I'm a wizard.
Just misses.
And it does 9 points of damage.
I'm gonna cast shield.
Doesn't that still? It would still hit.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Okay. Okay, I thought you were actually going to cast it.
No.
All right. Well, yeah, it does. And then for its second action, it is going to turn around a little bit and point a finger at you, Geckel. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw, and you need to beat a 14.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So a sickly greenish mixed with some dark brown ray of energy comes out of its finger, but has no effect on you. Oliver, it's back to your turn.
It was 9, right?
Yes, 9
points.
points.
Okay.
I think the answer here is that I will cast Cure Wounds on Barnabas,
He's fine.
which
9 points is only more than half my health.
it's not going to let me roll Cure Wounds. Okay, hold on.
It would be a D8 plus 5, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Almost
Barnabas, you
bring him back
gain
up to full.
you get 6,
Damn near full.
and oh, that's why he was asking for input values, and I was ignoring it. And then you can make a weapon attack as a reaction if you want.
Get my
Please
quarterstaff out.
Please do. You know what? I want to still say you hit it, but it's just like when it's like when you're trying to tell a dog no when you hit him on the nose with a newspaper. It's just like
and from there it will be a movement 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, that is way blocked. Is there something down here? Yes, there is. Let's use the last 5 so I can still see.
Oh yeah. It's hard to get the light. I
Yeah,
cut it off on the
it's
little
fine.
button.
It's fine. So
Gotcha.
moved that last 5 so I can still see Gecko and just shout to him, Gecko, are you all right over there? And that'll be a Bardic Inspiration die as a bonus action.
Hey.
Thumbs up.
And then that's my turn.
All right. Alba, you have just seen your friend be slashed at by this old thing. I'm not going to call it an old hag because fuck you, Rob.
Yeah, she's going to immediately 5, 10, 15, 20 over here. Are we doing flanking, I assume?
Oh, yes, we are.
Nice.
Well, I have an advantage, whack it twice. Actually, hit something.
Yep, the 13 misses, the 19 does hit. For 12 points of damage. Very nice.
And she will stay right there.
Okay. All right, back on 6. It will circle around you a bit, trying to find a good spot, and it will go ahead and try to bite at you again. 16 to hit.
That is my armor class.
Okay. It's 7 damage, so halved will be 3. And then it will take a swipe at you as well. With a natural 1, so it's going to miss you.
Huzzah!
And that will be its turn. Barnabas.
All right, so I will put it kind of like behind me here, and then I'm going to cast Earth Tremor. Which is not set up properly, apparently, but it's DC 14 Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity, it is. It rolled a 10.
All right, so it's a D6, and she's prone.
So does that hit you too?
Nope. It's anyone but me. Everyone. So it would hit allies
Okay,
not-
that's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Right. So yes, you do 2 points of damage. And is there any other effect on her?
She's knocked prone. If the ground in that area is loose, earth, or stone, it becomes difficult terrain until cleared.
Okay. Well then, if you want to just do a like box around where you did it, feel free, and it will be difficult terrain there. And she is prone. You said right?
Yes.
All right. And are you moving at all?
Nope.
Okie dokie. Geckle.
Well, let's see if I can, at advantage, hit it this time.
Yeah, that one hits. And with that, it's still alive, but it does not any longer have the strength to be flying. So it's kind of like just it got hit down to the ground. It looks like one of the wings might be broken, and it's kind of just like looking around like a trapped animal, scared for its life. It is very, very hurt.
I'll move around it next to Alba, and I will end my turn. I'm trying to get closer and closer to the hag.
Just creeping on over. All right. Your turn, Rothgar.
Very well. First, we're going to try a pistol on our nice hag here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, withered old woman.
Yep, exactly. That would be the correct term for the Monster Manual. All right, 9 points of damage. Very nice.
All right, there's
Would
9.
it be at disadvantage due to prone?
It would be,
yeah.
Yeah, let me just
I
roll
always
that
forget
again.
the ranged attacks.
Well, I tried
Yeah,
to
it
be
would've
fair
still
to
hit.
the GM.
It
It
still
would
would have
have
hit.
still hit. Yep.
Yeah,
And
okay.
yep, there you go.
All right, and then for the bonus action, gonna try my nice force ballista here.
Okay. That will hit.
All right, so that's going to be let's see. It's 2d8. That is, ooh, nice. 12 force damage. And she is, I believe, pushed.
I think it's
Yep,
5 feet.
pushed. Yep, 5 feet. Yep, 5 feet from me.
Okay. All right. Any movement, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll just kind of step, forward there, and that'll do for now.
Well, it is her turn. She is going to use half of her movement to stand up. Look at that. She will move right here. You guys can see her kind of like somewhat frantically looking for something, like patting around, and then her eyes kind of focus on something behind you, where you are, Alba, and you see her looking for her bag, and she is going to, if you want to take a melee attack at her, Barnabas, go ahead. She's going to move, so that will be 10 more feet, so she only has 5 more feet after that. That is going to miss. And
I should use my dagger. It's actually better than my quarterstaff.
But it's not as wizardy.
It's not.
Okay, and she's gonna move here, and her bag is over on that area. And as she is right here, she is going to take one swing at you, Alba, and one swing at Rothgar.
Gotcha.
So, actually,
It has disadvantage against Alba.
yeah, actually, it's gonna take one swing at you, Rothgar. Actually.
Gotcha.
So, okay, that is a 18 to hit.
That hits.
And I rolled well, actually I rolled one under what would be max damage. You're going to take 19 points of damage.
Ow. That's... Ow.
Ooh.
All right. And then... let me look this up real quick. All right. 20 feet. Okay. Right. So you four, so pretty everyone but Oliver, I'm going to need to go ahead and roll a. Actually, no, you don't roll anything. I roll. Okay. Barnabas and Rothgar, you both fall asleep.
That's not uncommon.
Crap.
We're not sure if it was because of a spell or Barnabas just got tired.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's a regular Monday for Barnabas.
I was actually one die roll or like one point off of being able to put Alba to sleep with one of them. But okay, so yeah, so you two are asleep. That's her full movement and her full actions. So Oliver, it is your turn. You have seen her just.
I have seen nothing. My vision is completely blocked from all of this.
Oh wait, how?
I don't know. There's something right in front of me that is blocking
Okay,
my
well,
vision.
all right, let me get rid of that because that should not be that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see you.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was
Holy
trying to
cow.
just block around the curve, not the whole freaking thing.
There we go.
Okay, yes. So yes, you actually did see your armored friend just get a huge blow with her claws, and then suddenly afterwards, him and Barnabas fell asleep.
Okay, so Barnabas and Rothgar fell asleep?
Yep.
Okay,
Correct.
making sure. So I can see. I've also seen her moving towards whatever her bag is, which was here-ish.
Yeah, I'll do a little mark for it real quick.
So are we prone, or did I just like fall asleep against my staff?
It's pretty much the sleep spell, which I'm not extremely familiar with.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure.
It says you fall unconscious.
You would be prone.
I'm assuming you're
Yeah.
laying down, like you fell to the
Yep.
ground.
Yep.
So what would it take for me to grab that? Just to interact with objects to grab the bag?
If you want to just grab the bag, yeah, it would just be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
So-
gonna. It'll be a free action. Like if you're not like searching through it or anything, you can just pick it up and sling it over your shoulder.
Okay, so first then, let's use a bonus action on Geckel for Healing Word, which this time I have actually figured out how it's supposed to work. Geckel,
Yes.
7 hit points. And you can attack with your reaction if you want to.
I'm sure he doesn't want to. We'll just skip that part.
I will attack our friendly neighborhood bear woman
Okay.
for an 18.
A 16 just misses.
Well, no, I've been doing it all reckless, so it'll be an
Oh
18.
yes, recklessly. So the 18 does hit. Yes, not just hits.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a lot of damage. Holy shit.
Yeah, when I hit, I put it out.
Yeah, that is a lot. All right.
Then as my action, I would like to Ray of Frost our friendly bear woman.
Alrighty. 11 does miss.
Okay. And then I will use 10 feet of movement to get over to the bag, grab it,
Okay.
and then the rest of my 20 to just book it.
Okay.
Oh no.
So probably end up down.
So you move
Here-ish.
10, and then if you want to go, you can get all the way to there, no problem.
Awesome.
And,
And
you know
that,
what? You're even going to have a nice little bag with you.
yay! And that will be my turn.
Okay. Alba.
Oh, Alba just saw him running off with the bag, so she's going to. What would it take to wake up Rothgar?
I think it's an action to wake
It's
someone.
an action to shake them awake.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if they take damage, they also wake up. So if you can hit 2 people at once, that would work.
That is
Yeah.
technically true.
I mean, I could lightning breath you both if you wish.
I would prefer not.
She will move over there, whack the lady with her rapier.
All right, that hits. So you will get your sneak.
And then offhand Rothgar.
Okay. I mean, he's prone, so you have advantage, and you hit him for 1 damage.
That is true. Yeah, yeah, you
Perfect.
did. Oh, that is so good.
That is the perfect roll for that, actually. All right. Any more movement? Anything?
Nope, she's gonna stick right there.
Okie dokie. All right. This little imp named Zix is going to all right, yeah. I'm not going to do that again. So, yep, it is going to slash out at you with its claws again. A 17 to hit
That will.
for 8 points of damage, halved down to 4. And then once again, it will turn and try to sting at you for a 20 to hit.
That will hit.
It's going to do 2 piercing damage and another Constitution save. Be in 11.
I may use inspiration. Oh, I hit it.
Okay. You are good. So you're going to take a quarter. So 9 halved would be 4. Halved again would be... So 4 points of damage total this round.
Awesome.
All right. And then this thing is literally about to die. It is going to start crawling away as fast as it could. I think you just had your turn, so you can attack it again with a reaction, right? Or no, wait.
No,
I used
used
my
his reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you had another turn. So yeah, it's going to start crawling down this way towards where you are, Oliver.
Oh joy!
But you'll be able to see it looks fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing is very badly hurt. But that is its entire turn. Barnabas, enjoy your sleep.
Yep.
You don't get anything to wake up from the magic sleep, right? You have to be
No,
woken up.
Yep.
nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, Geckel.
Well, I shall take 2 steps down, because she's not running after the bag or Oliver.
Thank you.
And I'm going to attempt to recklessly sever head from body.
That does hit.
Dang.
And it almost actually does it.
Nice.
It almost does it. She is very, very, very hurt. I'll leave it at that.
Dude, I can't wait till I get a second attack.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Holy shit. All right. That's you want to move anymore?
No, I'm going to try and... Obviously, I'm trying to block her way, so she'll have to run past me to get there.
Okay. Roth.
Madam, I did not need a nap. That was awful.
Okay.
And oh, that's very bad. 1 second. Okay, that is now, that's a misfire on my pistol, so that is kind of useless at the moment now. And then with my force ballista.
Okay. Even with advantage, you hit it. Nice.
Alright, I hit with that one. Alright. 8 force and 5 feet away.
Okay. 8 force. It almost like a swift breeze would kill her right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Any more movement?
Well, yep, then I
It'd be half to stand up. So you have
Yep,
15
I'll be
left.
standing up, and then... Yep. Yep. I think that's it for me there. There we go.
Okay. All right.
And that'll be good for now.
All right. Right in front of you, Geckel, you see her reach into a small pouch on the side, and she pulls out a very rough-looking sort of black gemstone, and all of a sudden, She's not there anymore. You're not sure exactly what happened. She's no longer there. And a couple of seconds later, Oliver, go ahead and do a. I'll say we'll do contested athletics checks.
Oh goodness, I am
Oh,
so
boy.
good at those.
I
They're
mean,
my
If
best.
she was invisible, wouldn't I have still got an attack of opportunity at disadvantage?
If it was just invisibility, yeah.
Yep, it was something else.
Oh, it's
Okay.
not bad.
It's not. She rolled an 18. So
Oh,
Oh no.
you lose grip of the bag.
okay.
She is in possession of it again. And she is going to use her, because that's not casting a spell. That was only an action. So she has one action left. And let me see how long this takes. Mm-mm. Let me see. All right. Okay, and it's only one action. Okay. All right. So as she rips it out of your hands, she appears back from the ethereal plane because she used her item to go ethereal.
Ooh.
And with the bag in hand, she rips out of your hand, and she is going to go ahead and let me see exactly how it works.
Jesus, how many actions has she got?
2.
Oh yeah, so action to go ethereal, action to snatch.
True. What she ha- That is very true.
Ooh.
Well, she already snatched, so okay, yeah. So no, yeah, you're right. That will be. She has the bag in her possession, and that is her turn.
Thank you.
Hey.
I mean, yeah, so sorry, I was just trying to figure that out. I mean, it's like, how many actions does she actually have, considering what she's just done?
Yeah, I wasn't really considering the snatching part in action at first, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it definitely
contested strength,
definitely is.
isn't it? Yeah.
All right, Oliver.
All right. Well, I have a free hand again, which was unexpected. I've been sitting here like, what spells can I cast with my hands full? That is going to be then. Ooh, I think I will have to go with. I'm going to use my action to use my racial ability to cast Armor of Agathis on myself at 2nd level.
Right.
Nice.
So
I have 10 temporary hit points, and if I get hit by a melee attack while I still have those hit points, the person who hit me takes 10 cold damage.
all right.
Um,
So you still have bonus action and
that's an
movement if you
action.
want.
Yep. And I am just going to cower in place since I don't want to get hit and shout, "Little help over here," which will be inspiration for Alba.
Okay. Alba, it is your
Okay.
turn.
So Alba can't exactly see over there. Can she like drop her rapier, grab like a piece of flaming wood from this and just run over?
Yeah, here. I think you should be able to. If you look in the where your character sheet is, you should see torch. You could just grab that out and put it on your person, and you should be able to move with it.
Yep.
Nice.
Can you move it? Or okay, good.
Yep, I can move it. that. So she goes 5. Just enough movement to get herself over there. And can she still attack?
Yeah, you will. I'll say picking out a decent torch. I'll say would have been a bonus action.
Okay. So she's going to attack.
That's a 17 to hit.
Yep.
That just hit.
And sneak attack.
Okay.
Do you have sneak attack because of the imp
But
Well, you're still within 5 feet too.
and me?
So
Oh yeah, within 5 feet of the enemy. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, since you're there, it kind of cancels out the imp being there.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Yeah. All right. Very, very hurt. Do you have anything else?
Nope, because she used their bonus action and she's down 1 rapier at this point.
All right. All right. This thing is going to move here.
Can she use a
Actually,
reaction?
yeah, you'll get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. No.
Yeah, an 11 does miss.
Do you want to inspire that?
You do have inspiration.
Well, why not? Let's just use it.
It's
It
a
was
D6.
You need to do at least a 3 on this. Yeah.
Hey!
So, 11 points of damage. That thing is gone.
hey,
Yay!
All right. Barnabas is still enjoying his nap. Geckle.
I'm working on it.
Geckle is going to happily, gleefully follow where this bear woman has gone to. 30. I'm going to recklessly whip the inspiration to make sure I hit.
Do you count as flanking?
I don't know. I'm always gonna do it recklessly.
Okay, just making sure.
I'll throw the d6 in there just for shits and giggles.
Well, it is a hit,
So
but you
12.
rolled horrible damage. I don't want to say it, but she has 1 HP.
Come on, dude.
Oh.
She started out with a lot of HP, so once it got down to like 20, I was telling you guys she was really, really low, especially with how you've been doing damage. But holy shit!
Can I, for a bonus action, just throw a punch?
I mean, it's a 2-handed weapon. If it was a 1-handed weapon, I'd say yeah.
Shit.
But yeah. Rothgar.
Well, I need to see about waking up Barnabas here.
Just kill her. I'll wake up.
Oh, what?
Sleeping man.
I'm just gonna wake you up. Yeah, just gonna wake you up there. Then move my way over a bit. So yeah, you are now up, and then. Yep. Okay, and bonus action. Can I see here? Let's see.
Well, there is a rather large tree right
yeah,
there.
that's a tree there, but I'm trying to see if I can do. But because I started in difficult terrain, I'm not doing too well there.
So it would have been 10.
Yeah.
Then you would have 10, 15, 6, or 20, 25. Like if you moved over here, it would still be a little hard to see her.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't think I can get.
I mean, you could probably like if you moved like right here instead, you could probably get a shot with like. I'd probably give her like pretty much a lot of cover.
A lot of cover, but I can
Yeah.
at least try with my bonus, with my force ballista.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say she'll have like 3/4 cover, so she'll have like +5 to her AC.
Cool. Let's see what happens. Probably not gonna, but. No.
Wait, why'd you roll with disadvantage? Okay, never mind. It would have been a 2 anyway.
Yeah, it would have been a 2, so that's no go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that misses. All right. It is her turn. She is. Actually, how much? Geckle, for your last attack, do a strength check real quick.
Would that be an advantage due to rage?
Yeah, absolutely.
21.
Okay.
Nice.
She cannot cast etherealness again because you have knocked it out of her hand. The dark black gemstone.
Awesome.
Hey.
She is going to grab at her bag, and she is going to start casting a spell. Barnabas, can you stop her? Do you have counterspell?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
We're only
no.
level 3.
Yeah,
I thought you had.
we're...
Oh, you don't get that until level 4.
Yep.
Shit. Okay. Because I remember you telling me you were going to take it to fuck with me.
Yeah, yeah. I would
All right.
always any spellcaster I have will have that spell.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Heck, I have to wait until level like 11, and I'm considering taking that spell.
All right. Yeah, it can only use this on itself, so none of you have to worry. But it is going to go ahead and cast Plane Shift. Clutching onto its bag.
Man.
It will once again disappear. And Alba, since you're the one who heard it the most, I'll say you hear this. You're going to hear a bit of very strange, dark whispers that say, "Don't worry, my dear Daldric. I'll put you to good use." And she's gone.
No!
Goddamn. Low damage.
Yeah, I kept saying she's like one hit away. I felt bad because it wasn't really, but with how you were doing damage, I thought you would kill her. So,
Yeah.
you guys are in an opening. Well, not an opening, but yeah, you just had this creature disappear, killed an imp, but the only thing it got to take with it was his bag.
Very important bag.
Well, actually, Barnabas, go ahead and do an Arcana check with advantage, because I'm sure in your long life you would have come across stuff like this. Yeah. I mean, do you already know what it is? I'm assuming.
I don't actually.
I
Okay.
have an idea, but I can't remember what it's called.
It's called a soul bag. If you are,
Oh, yeah.
they have a thing called nightmare haunting, which she was trying to do, but you guys noticed her. She could have crept up on you at night and gave you extremely horrible dreams, and it could have kept reducing your HP. And if it reduced you to 0, you would have died. And anytime it does that and kills a evil humanoid, its soul goes into the bag. It can only hold one soul at a time, and it is only the hag who crafts it can be the only one who can catch souls with it. But the souls take 7 days, or the soul bags take 7 days to make it. So she was trying to get one of you into it. She didn't know if any of you were evil. To be fair, she was going to target the tiefling just because. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
the joyful parts of D&D racism.
Of course.
Yeah, so that would have happened, but you guys did see her, or hear her, I should say. So yeah, but she did not get to bring anything else with her. That was the only thing she was carrying as she left.
Which means the bones are still here.
Yes.
That is true. We still have bones. We still have essentially the meat.
Is it over? Are we
It
good?
seems to be, unfortunately.
She seemed to have fled there.
She seemed
Well,
quite
are these-
desperate.
Are the bones Daedric? She did mention she had some plans for him.
Do the bone... Obviously, we can't tell what it looks like due to it being bones
Well,
and fat, but...
Barnabas, you rolled well enough. You do know that the wife said he's been missing 8 days. It takes 7 days to make a soul bag. You're kind of assuming he is the bag.
Lovely.
So I'll wake up sitting down in my ruined ground around me, sitting in a hole after having fallen asleep. and I'll explain that. I won't even get up. I'll just still sit there and just tell everybody
Hey,
that.
it's churned up ground. It's nice and
Yeah.
comfy down there.
I'll just sit there. I'll be sitting on the ground and get my pipe out and just like very calmly explain all that to everybody.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Unfortunate for Amelia, but at least we've got some bones.
Oh, we get 300 gold for bringing back proof of remains, I think they said. Something?
We should probably look around
yes.
if he had any rings or anything that may be still in the area.
Something of the sort, yes. Let's look about.
Yeah. Alba
Okay.
will look around.
All right. Alba, investigation it is.
Not
I'll
that
get her
well.
advantage because I'm
Okay.
also proficient in investigation.
All right.
Yep, and
Works.
I think we're all kind of just
Okay.
helping you there.
So Alba, are you only searching the bones, or are you searching around like the entire area?
Yeah, she would search around the area plus the
Okay.
bones. And
Um,
she'll have her torch with her.
you don't find any rings or anything. You do find like in the mix of everything, it looks like she kind of went through most of his belongings and stuff. But there is a bow there that's off to the side.
Yeah, she will grab that.
Which is useful
Okay.
for our party.
Okay. So yeah, you do find a bow. I'll say you find you also find his bag and some of the other stuff that's left in it. Like there's probably about I'll say 4 days worth of rations. You get an extra water skin if you want it. I mean, there's a bit of coin in there. It's like 3 gold, but you do find a bag as well. And then as you're searching around the rest of the area, you again come across this black gem.
This thing made him disappear. What is it?
Don't know.
Who are you asking?
Probably best ask Barnabas.
I can cast Identify as a ritual spell.
There we go.
Here you go. Have fun.
I'm still sitting in the dirt. I haven't moved.
Yeah, she just tosses it at him.
Oh, nice.
I'm going
Alright.
to just dig a hole around the corner for the body.
There's already
Or do
a
you
hole that
wanna-
Barnabas is sitting in.
Or do we want to bring the bones
I was
back?
gonna say, don't we want to bring what we can back
Hmm.
to
Maybe if we
for the
just
folks
bring
that would bury
his
things?
bag and his bow. But unless you purposely wish to carry a rotting corpse.
And to be fair,
Well,
it is kind of rank and rotting. It's been about 8 days, and it's still got some meat and stuff on it, so it smells awful. It's gross. Like maggots already crawling around in it. I mean, if you want to carry it, feel free.
Well, I'm not putting it in my bag, but if someone else wants to, go ahead.
Okay. Technically, the bag of holding is like a vacuum. What would that? Yeah, we'll just put it in there, I suppose.
You'll kill all the maggots.
There we go. That's just a,
Yeah, they'll suffocate. So
Totally out
I
of character
do-
comment, but still.
yeah. I do suppose that we can put it in my bag here. Just carefully. I don't want to get it on the outside here.
So you have you have his legs, arms. I mean, you don't got to. You just his remains. Yeah, I'm not going to give you all the parts that are still there.
I was gonna say, like, I did just have his remains there.
Yep. All right. Barnabas, after you finish, you find that this is called a heartstone. You can kind of guess what it's made out of. It is a heart that the hag took from someone that was corrupted and made into a magical item. It is what allowed her to go into etherealness, but that is not what the stone does. It's just what one of her uses for it. The only thing it will be useful for you guys for is that touching it will cure any disease. So it can cure a disease once per day. So if you ever get a disease, you could just hold on to it. You will be cured. But that is its only use. It does not allow you to go ethereal.
Still not bad.
Barnabas
And I
will
will
put
I
that
will
in his
add
pocket.
I will add an item to it for next week with like a description and picture and everything. But yeah, that is what you find here right now. Again, it's probably still pretty early on in the day. You only had to travel about an hour today for the whole journey. So I think this will be a good spot to end because instead of traveling back, actually no, I'll say you guys we'll do the traveling back. If you guys want to talk about anything on your way back, feel free. But then we'll be able to stop in the town, so that way you're gonna have nothing to really worry about at the start of next week.
Hmm.
So how did that
Well,
particular fight go, Oliver?
Yeah.
I would say this is more common than the super success we had the last time.
I suppose that's fair.
we had her on the run at least.
Yes, but unfortunately she did get away.
And real quick, I am sorry, I forgot to mention because you did say you looked around the entire camp. Alba, the imp also had like where he was originally, like up here in the tree. There was a like little a little not pouch. It's a bit bigger than like a little bag attached to it that had just other like possessions in it. Like you're assuming stuff that they had taken from people, like other jewelry and stuff. So you do have a bag that like there's not much jewelry actually. I should say it's more just the jewels. That it seems like they popped them out of whatever jewelry there was. So like a bag of jewels worth about 20 more gold.
Cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
But, yes, you can see what I meant when I said, an uneasy feeling. Creatures like this tend to give those presences.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I totally forgot. I cast Armor of Agathis earlier, which means I am still covered head to toe in frost for like an hour.
Well, yeah, then with our travel, it'll fade by the time we get there.
Mhm.
Well,
So
But yeah, Oliver wouldn't be particularly talkative. A little bit down.
fair enough. Yeah, I'll say over the next, you guys can, if you move at a bit of a quicker pace, you guys can probably make it back to the city by nightfall. So is that something you'd want to do, or would you want to still just take your time and keep your wits about you and stuff like that?
Alba would move faster.
Get
Yeah,
Glock
Like
to carry me.
quick
just to
paces.
be clear, you would still, even if you did move like at a normal pace, keeping like a lookout and stuff, you would still make it back to town today, but it would be after dark. So you would definitely be on the road for that part at least, so it's not as worrisome. But you could make it back before nightfall if you wanted to.
no, I'll just throw Barnabas on my back and we'll go fast.
You give me a little baby Bjorn, just carry me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I could, yes.
Little backpack, just carry me around.
Oh man.
Okay.
I've always wanted a
Well, then, yeah.
backpack Barnabas.
Technically, I mean it's a joke, but Barnabas is actually much more dexterous than he is strong, so walking is not an issue for him.
But he won't turn down being carried and having a nice
I
little
mean,
nap.
sure.
Oh, of
Like,
course. Yeah.
I think that Barnabas is the kind of guy that would take every advantage to offer to him due to his age.
Yep.
Like when I go to Denny's, you're going to give me that senior citizens discount because
You pull out the ID when you go through Dunkin' Donuts for the 20 cents off of
Absolutely.
coffee.
uh-huh.
I mean, to be fair,
Because I need that extra. I need that extra money for my spells, so I need every
Mhm.
discount I can get.
we
Absolutely.
There
all
you
want
go.
a backpack Barnabas.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I'll say by nightfall you make your way back. and you guys are in the town. You make your way. I'm assuming you all would just head back to the tavern,
Mm-hmm.
or is there any stops on the way?
Probably
no,
the
we could do
local
the tavern.
church
Okay.
to drop off the remains.
Okay. Yeah, the most like the easiest to find would be a church to Bahamut.
We should
There,
drop off his body and inform him that the next of kin will be here tomorrow.
Good idea.
Yes. We shall go ahead and take what's left out of my bag.
yeah, it is Geckel. As you're like looking around, it is a regular dragonborn who is like approaching you as you guys enter. Same color skin as you, but he does have a tail. He kind of walks up, looks between you both, kind of gives you a bit of a unkind look, but doesn't say anything, and accepts it and looks to without really looking at you, Geckel, kind of says, "Oh, you can tell them that he'll be in the holding area," and he kind of points down there. He says, "We'll do our best to refresh the remains as best as possible for them to decide what to do with them."
Thank you. And Geckel's head out.
All right. Back at the tavern, Allison notices you come in. She comes over. She doesn't ask you what happened or anything. She greets you, offers you coffee, food, that kind of stuff, drink if you want it, and tells you that that Eliana and Amelia had come in again for dinner. They also plan on coming back tomorrow at noon, so they should be here tomorrow around the same time they were today, if you will still be here.
Yes, that sounds fine with us. We'll just be resting.
We'll be here.
Okay. Well, then I think that would be a better spot to end instead of out in the middle of a forest where you just fought a hag.
Yeah.
A little bit cozier. So,